All right, here we go. Boskoe100. Welcome back to Vlad TV.
Good to be back, man. Why it took so long for me to get back?
It's been a minute. It's been what, about a year or so?
Almost. I was looking at, you know, it was before the pandemic, definitely.
Yeah.
But I've been looking at a lot of people come back a few times. I was like, damn, what's up with Vlad? Like, why you ain't called me back yet?
We like to use you sparingly, you know what I mean? And then when you come in, you make a big impact. And we feel that when people come to the platform, they get a lot of views, they get a lot of promotion, whatever businesses they work on get amplified, which is why I go on promo runs myself.
Yeah.
I do, you know.
I see you do No Jumper.
I do No Jumper. I've done the Breakfast Club recently.
I didn't even see your Breakfast Club. You
I did the Breakfast Club. Yeah. Yeah. When I was promoting something, you know, I did Nick Cannon's show on his radio show. I did Big Boy on the radio.
I seen that too.
And I did a few other people, like, you know, like my man Sean Prez that has his thing, you know, people who fuck with me. And I go on all those platforms. And then when I look at whatever I'm promoting, I see jumps and more subscribers, more activity on whatever it is I'm promoting, because this is why you go on platforms. And it all kind of works together. So let's go ahead and talk about what's going on these days.
Man, too much going on.
We can go a lot of different ways because a lot has happened since last time. I think the most important thing that's going on right now is the Breonna Taylor case.
That pissed me off. I was pissed off about that. Like, how you charge? How are you guilty of shooting into someone else's home, but not guilty of killing the girl whose home you ran into? Like, it just didn't make no sense. Like, you got let off on that, but they mad about you shooting into a neighbor's apartment or because shots came through a neighbor's apartment. That just didn't make no sense to me.
Right, because out of the 3 officers that were charged with this shooting, only one got indicted. And it wasn't even for the shooting of Breonna Taylor. It was the shooting into a neighbor's house.
Which didn't make no sense at all.
Right.
Like, what did she get shot for? So how do you just get away with that?
They were looking for her ex-boyfriend who didn't even live there. They were in the wrong house. And in the process of doing that, she gets killed in her sleep.
How do you get away with that?
And,
that's outright murder. That's straight murder.
It's straight murder. Floyd Mayweather even spoke on that.
Yeah.
You posted that video.
It wasn't, I mean, he meant well. He meant well.
You didn't like what he said?
I mean, I felt his message just the way it was. I want to say the way he, shout out to Floyd Mayweather though. I fuck with Floyd though, but yeah, he's not the most intelligent speaker is what I say. Like, but I felt his message. That's why I said, bless his heart, bless his heart. He meant well.
Well, Freeway Ricky was here recently.
Yeah,
right?
Shout out to Freeway.
And he made a very interesting point that kind of got a few feathers ruffled along the way. And he said, you know, when we're talking about like Michael Jordan or Magic Johnson, like for example, I interviewed Craig Hodges, right, who played with Jordan on the Bulls, has championships with Jordan. He tried to get Jordan and Magic to not take the court back in the 80s.
To not
take the court during the NBA Finals in protest for the way black people were being treated in America. And Jordan was like, nah, you're crazy. And Magic was like, nah, I'm not doing it.
When has Jordan ever stood up for any black issues?
Right, like, he's trying to do it now.
It's a little late in the game. Like he's never, in the height of his career at the time when he really would have made a difference.
He wasn't saying that. He said Republicans buy sneakers too. That was his statement. But what Freeway Ricky said that was interesting, that it got a lot of people, you know, talking, was he said that Michael Jordan and Magic Johnson are not quote unquote black.
Well, I mean, really, if you look at Jordan and Magic, they're not black.
Really? Explain.
I don't think they're black.
What are they?
They're other. If the cop pull over Magic, as soon as he sees Magic, he gonna ask for his autograph.
Right.
He's not gonna tell him to get on the ground or cuff him or nothing like that. He's gonna treat him totally different.
When they get pulled over, the first thing the cop is going to say is, "Oh, that's Michael Jordan.
Yeah.
That's not some black guy that I'm pulling over that I'm suspicious of."
You are a black guy, though. You are black.
They're definitely black. But he said that they do not go through the same experiences as a typical black man in America.
They don't.
Because they are Michael Jordan and they are Magic Johnson.
It shouldn't matter, though. The law is the law. If
The law is the law.
No one should get away with something that another. If I kill somebody and I got to go do life in prison or get the death penalty, the next Michael Jordan, if he kills somebody, he needs to get life for the death penalty. Like it's no exceptions to the rules.
Yeah.
Like, it's no like, if I'm a bad person, then you're a bad person, period.
What happened to OJ then?
They never found, if the glove doesn't fit, you must acquit.
So you don't think OJ did it?
No.
You think OJ's innocent?
The glove didn't fit. They didn't find him guilty. You know what I'm saying?
So you think he had nothing to do with that murder, that double murder?
They didn't find him guilty.
This is true, but you don't think that him spending millions of dollars on the best legal team that money could buy and
I think that made him spending millions on the best legal team just made them dig deeper and really find out that he was innocent.
Okay. Hey man, I respect your opinion.
He went to court. He went to trial.
He went to court and he won.
He had a trial. He won.
He won.
OJ's innocent.
OJ's innocent. Okay.
Innocent until proven guilty. They never proved him
we
guilty.
could agree to disagree. I think he's guilty and got away with it. But because if not him, then who did it?
That's up to the detective. Go do your job. Go find out. That's your job, not ours. But
right.
We the people, you put him on trial in front of a jury of his peers, and they found him innocent. So he's an innocent man.
Fair enough. My point coming back to the Floyd Mayweather thing is that I don't think Floyd Mayweather does not live in the same type of world as a typical black man in America.
He doesn't. Floyd Mayweather, just now speaking on black, Floyd Mayweather's another dude who never stood up.
Yeah, when I saw that video, that was the first time I've seen a video of Floyd saying, I'm like, where'd you even get that video?
Anything.
Is that new?
Yeah, it was, I guess it was new, yeah.
Okay.
But it was just like, that's the first time ever. That's why I gave him a little flack for it. You know, I had to get him a little bit, like, trying to sound smart all of a sudden. But when have you ever stood up for any black issues? Like, you know what I mean? I'm not black, I'm rich type of, you know what I mean? He got this, I'm not black, I'm rich type of attitude.
I'm not black, I'm OJ.
Yeah, like type
That's an actual quote.
You know what I mean? Yeah. But nobody never said OJ wasn't a sellout, but they didn't find him guilty, so OJ is an innocent man, period.
Yeah, I mean, it's a real shame with the whole Breonna Taylor situation. You have this dead girl that was just sleeping in her damn bed.
Who was killed in her sleep. You busted in her home, in the wrong home. You murdered her. What were you even shooting at? What were they shooting at?
Well, they were trying to find her ex-boyfriend who they say was dealing drugs. Mm-hmm. And that's why they did the no-knock, warrant search. And, I remember I interviewed Turk, who had the same thing happen to him, and he ended up shooting a cop.
Mm-hmm. I remember that.
He went to prison for shooting a cop. Mm-hmm. But, he took me step by step. He said, man, listen, I heard a loud crash on my door. I thought a bunch of dudes were coming to rob me. I grabbed my pistol, and they started shooting at me. I started shooting back. Cop got shot.
Rightfully so.
He didn't get killed, but then, I guess they beat the shit out of him and took him to prison. And
3 days later, that's when the SWAT team kicked in the door. 2 police officers got shot. They shot literally 52 times, man, and I didn't get hit or grazed. My wife ain't get hit, man, and the police, man, I found out they were the police. I never intended to shoot no police. You feel me? I thought we was being robbed. So, you gonna go in the closet if you want to kill a police? Nah, you about to shoot through that motherfucking door. You feel me? You don't know who they is. And you see black ski masks and shit, I'm from the hood. Oh, you a robber, I'm about to blast your ass. You know what I'm saying? But anybody that want to shoot a police, they crazy in a motherfucker. Like you got to respect authority, and that's something that I do.
But that don't make no sense. Like, you have a constitutional right to bear arms and to protect yourself and your family, especially in your home. So if someone comes crashing into your home unannounced and you defend yourself.
Yeah, I'm shooting myself.
Yeah, me too.
I got
Like,
pistols all around my house.
Not that I own any pistols, but I'm definitely shooting this.
We'll leave it at that. I own pistols legally. You
Yeah.
know, I'm registered. I got a lot of guns in my house.
Good
and
job,
I got some
good
big
job.
shit too.
As you should. You have a constitutional
I
right.
got some big shit in the house. You go.
Good job. We
Run
should go.
up.
No, it's good.
I got a few things.
Yeah.
I got a few things that'll put some holes in you. That'll take out some big chunks out of you. And I got dogs as well.
Good job.
Big
good
dogs,
job.
Rottweilers.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
you know, between those two things, you run up in my house, I will try to kill you as quickly as possible.
You should be. That's your right. Like
Yeah.
you have to defend your family
Yeah.
as a man. Like just as a man.
But they're trying to actually, like, it's really kind of like a dirty game they're playing because they're trying to get her current boyfriend, you know, the one that got arrested during that whole incident. They're trying to say that she was part of a drug operation in order for them to drop the charges against him because now he's facing like 10 years for the whole incident.
Cause didn't he shoot at the
yeah.
police or something?
Well, and that's the weird thing because now they're saying the ballistic reports don't actually support that the boyfriend shot an officer.
See what I'm saying?
The
But
whole thing sounds crazy.
It's just all like it don't make no sense, and that's the problem in this country. Like the police and law enforcement and they never held accountable for the shit that they do. Like
That's what Mabel said.
Yeah, I mean, I said he meant well. It didn't come out well. He wasn't well spoken with it. Is what I meant. But you know, like bless his heart, he meant well.
Yeah, I mean, Charles Barkley, he pitched in on this.
I didn't hear what Barkley said. What did he have to say?
He said, I don't think this one, Breonna Taylor was like George Floyd or Ahmaud Arbery and things like that. He said, I feel sad for this young lady that lost her life, but I'm worried to lump all these situations in together.
He sound like a clown. That sound like some clown shit. Like we always getting the worst crimes committed against us. And how can you as a black person sit there and say that? Like you sound dumb as hell, in my opinion.
Shaquille O'Neal actually chimed in on this too. He said, I would have to agree with Charles. This one is sort of lumped in. Everyone was asking for murder charges. When you talk about murder, you have to show intent. A homicide occurred, and we're sorry a homicide occurred. When you have a warrant signed by the judge, you are doing your job, and I would imagine that you would fire back. So I guess they're saying that the guy in the house fired, and then they fired back, and they ended up killing Breonna in the process. But now they're saying that the ballistics don't match up with the boyfriend firing. So.
You know what? I got a lot of respect for Shaq, and I fuck with Shaq, but that sound like some clown shit too. Honestly, in my opinion, it sound like some clown shit.
Well, Shaq is a cop, you know that, right?
Yeah, exactly.
He's an actual
a sheriff. And,
yeah, like he actually got sworn in as a police officer.
So he
of
would
some
say
sort.
some shit
So
like that.
he is going to be on the side of the police more so than a lot of people.
Clown. I said that. Don't edit that out.
I'm not
That
going
was
to
some
edit it
clown
out.
shit.
Breonna Taylor's family got $12 million settlement.
That's. I mean, thankful for that. That's
Yeah.
good. They deserve that.
Brianna doesn't get to experience that.
She don't get to experience that. That doesn't bring her back. That
Nope.
doesn't righten the wrong that was done to her. But at least they get some kind of compensation for what they got to go through. That's,
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, I mean, I look at situations like that and say, but the person's dead. I mean, George Floyd's family got, what, like 50 million or something? Let me see. What did George Floyd?
They got 50 million?
Hold on.
Damn. It's not gonna bring him back either though, but.
The George Floyd GoFundMe has raised, no, my bad, almost 15 million.
That's shit.
A lot.
That's a lot of money.
A lot. Generational wealth.
That's a lot of money.
Once
If
again,
they do
doesn't
right
bring
with
back.
it, if they do the right thing with it,
And they haven't even, I don't know if they've actually, I don't think they finished the lawsuit because, they're suing.
so it might be more coming.
It will be more coming.
Yeah, see if they do
It
the
will be
right
more
thing
coming.
with it.
But the GoFundMe alone
Yeah.
brought in 15 million. So
Yeah, that's
then
good.
the lawsuit might bring in another 15, 20 million. The whole police station was disbanded in that city. And in Louisville, Kentucky, where Breonna got killed, I mean, they set fire to the courthouse.
Yeah, that was dope. Like that was dope. Like finally, like, you know what I mean? People stand up and take action. See, that's the thing. Like, it's kind of like being in a gang. Like, if you in a gang and somebody could come through and just kill one of y'all, and there's no retaliation, there's no repercussions, what's gonna stop the next person from coming through and just, like, you know what I mean? You kind of become like it kind of become open season on you, because like, oh, these niggas ain't gonna do shit, so I can do whatever I want to them. So it needs to be a resistance. Like, somebody needs to stand up. It needs to be some affirmative action. And yeah, I'm all for it. I'm all for it.
I mean, and I've heard this in the gang life, is that it's always has to be instant retaliation.
Instant. It has
not
to
really
be.
A lot of thinking about it. There's no
thinking,
planning.
Immediate action, affirmative action, like immediate. You can't let, because like, if somebody feel like they could come do what they want to you, what's gonna stop them from just coming to annihilate you? Like, you gotta, like, immediate, like in the streets, people respect random acts of violence. Like, it's like, you know what I mean? That's what people like, oh shit, these fools crap. Like, you know what I mean? So like, when somebody comes and does something to you, it needs to be some repercussions. It's swift, fast repercussions. It don't need to be waiting around, it needs to happen. I'm not saying people should be going out killing people, but you have a right to defend yourself. You have a constitutional right to, you know what I mean? You have a right to defend yourself as a man. So if somebody comes and violates you, that needs to be taken care of fast.
Yeah, but most times, immediate action is usually not the best course of action. Actually planning and thinking things out is usually a much better course of action. If you look at the prisons, I would say that 90% of the people there were there because of impulsive, emotional decisions. Like, how many people are in prison when you were locked up were there because they planned something out and it didn't go right? As opposed to something happened and they just grabbed a pistol, or they decided to go rob someone or whatever else, and then it all went to hell.
I mean, no matter what you do, you should always put some thought into it and move light, tread lightly, and know what you're doing. But, you know what I mean? It's like, something has to be done, and it must be done quickly, fast, or it's like, people gotta know, like, all right, I ain't gonna just get away with this. Like, people, it make other people think twice, or think way more heavily, put way more thought into coming to bother you. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you mention all the time, I got plenty of guns, I got dogs, I got security. So that makes people think someone is gonna think twice, or put a little more thought into, all right, I ain't gonna just fuck with Vlad like this because he has plenty, like, you know what I mean? And just, people need to know that. And I'm pretty sure that's why you say it all the time. Like, you say it all the time. Like, I hear you say it all the time.
Yeah, well, it's true, man. I'm a gun rights advocate, and I can't be one unless I own guns.
Exactly.
I believe in the right to bear arms. I believe in, I've had very ugly situations over the years, and I don't believe that you should just sit back and let whatever happens to you just let it happen.
Never be a victim.
Yeah. And we're all going to be victims at some point in our lives. I've been a victim. You've been a victim. Everyone in this room has been a victim at some point, and that's okay.
But people need to see swift, fast retaliation, though.
Yeah. But that retaliation can happen in many different ways, right? At the end of the day, it's chess, not checkers. It's not horseshoes either. If you actually plan out, like, one of the most important things that I've ever heard, like, this year, was in a Willie D interview. And he said, we all know a guy that will get ready to go to the club and say, all right, we're going to go to the club, and if anyone disrespects us or steps on our shoe or tries to holler at a lady that we talking to, we're going to fuck them up, right? I know guys like this, you know guys like this. But we don't know too many guys that say, now, after I fuck him up, there's a good chance he might kill me. So I want my mom to have some money I have in my closet and give my car to my sister, and let me just go ahead and plan it all the way out. Because doing this might result in me losing my life. I'm planning on what I'm gonna do to somebody. I'm not thinking what they're gonna do back.
Exactly.
there are dudes that go out there with that mentality, like if somebody get out of line, we're gonna click on them, we're gonna whoop them. But they don't think about what the other person might do. They only think about what they're gonna do. If they thought about what the other person would possibly do to them, before they went out, they'd say something along these lines. All right, look here, Lil Ray. We finna go out to the club, man. You know, we're gonna be our usual selves. You know, we're gonna do a little drinking or whatever. Anybody get out of line, we're gonna ride on there, we're gonna whoop them up. You know, we're gonna handle our business. And tonight I'm gonna get killed though. This time I'm gonna get killed. So what I want you to do is I want you to have my Nike collection. You can have all my Jordans. Let your sister have the car because she got to go to school. You know, I don't want her catching the bus. Tell mom I got some money in the attic, and tell everybody I love them, man. And you know, I'm gonna make one stop before I go out there because I got to go over here to my girl house, and I'm gonna kiss my baby and kiss my woman and let them know I love them, and then I'm gonna go over here and get killed. Oh, and I'll bury this the suit I want you to bury me in. Man, to tell them don't be putting too much makeup on me and shit, man, because you know I don't like all that, man. You know. Tell that mortuary, man, you let them know, man. You know, like you would really plan it all the way out. But they don't plan on what other people could possibly do to them. They only think about what they're gonna do to somebody else.
How many people really plan, okay, now after they do this, I do this, and they're gonna do that, and then they're gonna go get their gun, and they're gonna come back and shoot me and whatever else. People make enemies and just work it out of their heads of what they're going to do to their enemy. They don't think of what their enemy is about to do back to them.
My enemy don't know I'm coming though. You don't know I'm coming.
Yeah, but you also don't know what happens when shit pops off.
I mean, yeah, if it's just spur of the moment shit, but like, if you came and, just say somebody just came and killed one of my brothers.
Yeah.
And, you know what I mean, my brother's dead and we mourn it. You don't know if I'm coming to kill you or not, or what I know. Like, so how do you know to, like, you don't think about that in the heat of the moment. When it's the heat of the moment, you just know, like, all right, something has to be done. It got to be done fast.
Right, but if your brother gets killed, there's probably something leading up to it.
I mean, not necessarily, people. It wasn't nothing leading up to Breonna Taylor getting killed. What was leading up to, like?
What led up to Breonna Taylor getting killed was them going to a judge signing a warrant.
For the wrong place.
For the wrong place. A bunch of guys suited up with body armor and guns, prepared for a firefight, which happened. And, you know, there probably was a certain amount of thought of, we hope this is the right house. We hope this guy is actually here. Mm-hmm. You know, there should have been more thought into maybe, you know, doing observation and reconnaissance on that house to make sure the right person is coming in and out of the house before we go and start kicking the door down. There was a lot of planning when it came to that. A bunch of cops were just driving by the house and saying, all right, we're about to just run in this house and start shooting
There
up.
was a lot of planning, but you guys were misinformed though. It was a lot of planning under misdirection.
Right.
So somebody should be held accountable for that.
Yeah, listen, I believe that the cops, you know, at least one person needs to take responsibility for this and needs to go to prison for a long time.
The judge.
The judge could be that. Or whoever submitted the paperwork to the judge, right? Which is what, the chief of police? Whoever's in charge, there was a signature on that paperwork that came from the police department that said that we are sure this is what it is and we're giving it to the judge, and the judge has to look at that person's signature and say, okay, this is someone who has proven to be reliable, that doesn't just run up into random houses, guns blazing, and I'm going to sign this paperwork. And that person who wrote, you know, the paperwork for the judge for that no-knock warrant, before they submitted that paper, there should have been a thing like, you know, if this is the wrong house, I'm going to go to prison.
Exactly.
And let me really think about it. Because if they said, you know, if this is the wrong house and I end up on death row, I'm going to really make sure it's the right house. I'm going to put an undercover in front of that house for a couple of days, and I'm going to see that this is the right guy coming in and out of the house. And, you know, and then maybe I'm not even going to bust, you know, oh, there's a woman that lives here too. Okay, well, in the course of this home invasion, this woman might get killed, so let's just not even do a no-knock warrant. Let's just arrest him as he's coming out of the house.
Exactly. Like, this is a dope suspect. This is a drug dealer. So this ain't no murder suspect that you're looking for.
It's not Jeffrey Dahmer.
Yeah, it's not Jeffrey Dahmer. You're not looking for fucking some mass murderer or fucking terrorist. Like this is what I'm saying. Like, you serving a drug warrant and you come in guns blazing, ready to kill whatever you see. But we got the dude, what's the dude who just shot the 2 people, the 17-year-old teenager, and just was out there shooting people and
Oh,
shit.
yeah, the white kid, yeah.
Yeah,
Kenosha, yeah.
Yeah, but, you know what I mean, a situation like that, you guys it's always like, the situation is always a code red when it's black. When it's somebody white, it's always a little more relaxed, or like, always.
I mean, me and Freeway Ricky were talking about the Pop Smoke murder, right? And ultimately, it was done by a group of LA gang-affiliated guys. There was like 5 of them. 2 of them were underage.
Snitching already.
Yeah, telling on each other, I'm sure, at this point. And he said something interesting. He said that these guys, you know, because there's the whole thing, oh, you know, rappers always get killed in their own neighborhoods. This was the Hollywood Hills. This is not a rapper neighborhood at all. This is a very wealthy part of Los Angeles. You know, you can't get a home under $1 million in the Hollywood Hills. That's really where it starts, and you're gonna get some bullshit.
But see, people need to understand, it's not the place, it's the people.
Right, but he said something interesting. He said these guys all got in a car and went to go shoot Pop Smoke. Well, went to go rob Pop Smoke.
I think they actually went to go rob him.
They went to go rob him because he's flashing his address on Instagram, and he got a bunch of jewelry on. He got a bunch of designer shit on, and they went to go rob him but they're doing an armed robbery, meaning that a murder might occur. And from what I understand, they're actually tied into, you know, they're potentially tied into another murder that happened.
Yeah, the Rose Bowl or something.
The Rose Bowl, exactly, the Rose Bowl murder.
But I heard Pop Smoke, I heard somebody shot at them, or Pop Smoke shot, he had a gun on him.
That's PNB Rock said that. I never saw that in a police report or
Yeah,
the
I haven't seen
LAPD.
that.
So I can't, I'm not saying PNB Rock is not telling the truth. I'm just saying that he's the only person I've heard that said that. You know, usually.
Was he there?
No. Yes, that's what I'm saying. He wasn't there. But Freeway Ricky said that those same guys probably wouldn't have gone into the Hollywood Hills into a white family's house, because they would think that something a lot worse would happen to them. Like they could almost get away with it if it's shooting your own.
A white family wouldn't have been putting themselves out there like that. Like, a white family wouldn't have been on the internet.
There's plenty of white kids on Instagram flashing.
But you're not white. We're not seeing that. Nobody's seeing that. Like, you don't just, like, how many people are actually following a white kid that's following, like, you know what I mean? It's like how many black dudes, of course you're following Pop Smoke, you watching Pop Smoke, so you see him on the internet. The average white kid that's on there, who's really following them to see what they got going on? Like,
I mean, there's plenty of white rappers. G-Eazy wears lots of jewelry and, you know, whatever else.
But you're not paying attention to him. It's like more, I swear to God, I went to a concert or like a show, I didn't even know who Jeezy was. I was standing in the same room with him, and I didn't even know who he was looking at me. He knew who I was, but I didn't even know who he was at the time. I know who he is now, but at the time when I went to this concert, I didn't know who he was. I wasn't even paying it. I'm standing in here with a big star that's popping, and I didn't know who the hell he was. You know what I mean?
You're a felon, right?
Yes.
How many felonies?
A few.
A few?
Yeah. A few.
Does the 3-strike rule apply to you at all or no?
No, I don't have any violent felonies.
Oh, so 3 strikes only applies to violent?
Yeah, it got to be violent crime.
Oh, okay.
So, they changed it.
Can you vote in California?
No.
Permanently?
I mean, not permanently, but not right now. I'm still on probation.
Okay. So persons with criminal history who could not register to vote is currently in prison, in state or federal prison, currently serving a state prison felony sentence in a county jail. Once you are done with parole, your right to vote is restored, but you must re-register online. Mm-hmm. But you're still on parole.
I'm currently on probation.
Probation.
Yeah.
What's the difference?
Parole is when you go to prison and you get out of prison, on parole. Probation is kind of like the parole before prison. Like when you get out of county jail, if you don't get sentenced to prison, they put you on probation.
Okay.
But when you come home from prison, that's parole. It's just basically like...
Okay, parole is post-prison, probation is in lieu of prison.
Yeah.
Got it.
Exactly.
And how many years did you get on probation?
This time I got, this last time, 5.
5 years.
5 years.
How much time do you have left?
I'm almost off. I'm actually about to go to court to petition to get off because I've done, like they say, like you do half time good, no violations. So I've done more than half the time good. So I'm eligible to get off right now. So I'm actually in the process of getting off of it.
Right, because being on probation, you're not exactly a citizen like everyone else.
Yes.
They could go in your house whenever they feel like it. Mm-hmm. If you get pulled over, they could search your car without...
You sign away your rights.
You sign away your rights as a typical U.S. citizen. Mm-hmm. What's some of the things that have happened on probation that wouldn't happen if you were off probation?
It's like getting put... Like, just recently, like, I was at the... I was with a friend of mine, and we pulled up at a weed shop. Mm-hmm. It was a weed shop. They stopped to get some weed. And I guess she didn't park all the way, like, you know what I mean? She pulled up in front, but it was like kind of like a tight space, so she didn't just all the way park. So they said that the car was kind of sticking out. This was the reason. The police ride by, I'm sitting in the car waiting for them to come out. And they shine a light. I see them pass by the first time, they shine the light. And then they come back and they shine the light again. So then they come back again, like a third time, and make a U-turn and get out and come sweating. Oh yeah, whose car is this? I'm like, it's a friend of mine, they inside the weed shop. Like, oh, well, it's not parked correctly. Whoopty ran bam, like, all right, if the car not parked correctly, like, what is that a reason to pull me out of the vehicle and search the vehicle? Like, you know what I mean? But because I'm on probation, I couldn't contest it. Like, oh, step out of the car, let me see your ID.
They checked your ID, it came up as probation. So they're like, all right, we can do whatever we want.
So now you want to pull me out the car, now you want to search the car and all this. If I wasn't on probation, they wouldn't have been able to do it. Like, sometimes they still do it, don't get me wrong. Like, some cops are assholes. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, cops violate your rights and break the laws and break the rules all the time. And they just, it's never any like repercussions for it.
What's the worst thing that's happened with you and a cop?
I had a cop actually come to trial, like come to court and get on the stand and lie on me, like lie and say he pulled me. My first gun case ever, my first case, I had to, first of all, I didn't even have the gun. My first case, I didn't even have a gun. Another dude, we was in a group of like 10. The police pull up and they get out, they bump us up, and all of a sudden it was a gun on the ground. I didn't even have a gun, but I was such a known character at the time. Like, they knew me and was like, you know, I wasn't on no kind of probation, no parole, no nothing. But I was just one of them dudes they wanted to get. They used to pull me over. I had license, registration, insurance. But it was like, I don't know, I was so known, they just hated that. So it was like, this situation happened, we get pulled over. Not pulled over, but the police we were walking down the street in a group of 10. The police pull up on us like 5 cars deep, flash the lights, we all stop, like, so the police get out, all of a sudden a gun is found. Like, you know what I mean? Not even by me per se, they just find a gun like on the grass. So I guess whoever had it, he pulled it out and just dropped his gun.
Right, as he should.
Yeah, I mean, you know.
But then again, he's putting it on everyone else
but
by doing that.
Everybody out here,
it's your gun.
They take me to jail for a gun.
Lil Wayne had the same thing happen to him, right?
I'm not sure how the situation,
yeah,
it was a tour bus.
They pulled over the tour bus, they found a gun on it. Lil Wayne was the one who went to prison.
Yeah, I didn't, you know.
I think the same thing with Ja Rule, right around the same time.
I didn't understand how that happened with Wayne, like, all the people on the bus, but whatever, like, you know what I mean? You would think somebody would have stepped up and say, oh, well, that's my gun, or like, you know what I mean?
Man, listen, loyalty is a very interesting thing.
Right.
People talk that shit all day long, and oh yeah, no, I'm gonna be there. Yeah, I'm loyal. I'm this. I'm that. It's great to say it out loud, but when shit goes down, and when someone's actually facing a gun charge, and let's just say that somebody already has some priors on their record, and they're saying, "Fuck, if I say that's my gun, I'm gonna go to prison for 10 years." So yeah, I like hanging out with Wayne, and I like being in his entourage and everything else like that, but I like my freedom a little more.
You're not going to jail for 10 years.
Yeah.
For a possession firearm. That wouldn't have been no 10 years.
So Wayne's gonna have to hold that. Oh well. I guess I'm not going on tour with Wayne anymore.
Wayne needs some better people around him.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
You're supposed to protect the bag at all. If you riding around touring with Wayne.
I got it. Well, you're supposed to have someone who is legally supposed to say, "Officer, that's my gun. Here's my carry permit.
Yeah.
You know, I will go and go, you know, if you want to arrest me, go ahead. You know, here, I'll provide my paperwork. I will go, blah, blah, blah." You know, like I use, you know, I've always said this. I've used, you know, my LA security is always legally licensed to carry, either ex-LAPD or active police that are off duty or whatever else, because if anything goes down, they are going to say, "Here's who I am. This is my gun. This is why I fired it. And I'm going to get on the stand." I'm not going to be like, "I can't get on the stand." No, I ain't going to snitch on nobody. You know what I mean? Like, you know, because I have friends like that too.
Yeah,
you know, or like, I'm never going to say nothing. I don't care if it's for you. I'm not going to snitch on my worst enemy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, there's been so many situations where because a person doesn't want to break the street code, they end up doing the wrong thing as a whole. You know what I mean? But the people I carry, my security is like, yo, they're legally allowed to carry, they're legally allowed to shoot, and they will get on the stand and they'll explain their course of action. And since they've been on the other side, you know, of the law, you know, on the actual legal side of the law, they know how to actually explain their actions.
Which is how every celebrity should be. Like I don't understand like how you have that much money and you making that much money and you still catching gun cases. It just don't, it just bad. Like NBA YoungBoy right now.
NBA YoungBoy. I was about to mention him.
NBA YoungBoy.
Didn't you mention he's on 10-year probation?
Yeah, he was on the 10-year probation. I remember from the shooting.
Wasn't there a murder case or something like that he ended up beating or some shit like that?
It was like an attempted murder or something.
Something like that,
But
yeah.
they gave him 10 years probation. But he done got in trouble so many times since this 10-year probation.
Beating up his girlfriend.
Just all kind of shit. It's just crazy.
Did you see all the guns? Did you see that picture?
Hell yes.
We're going to show that picture right now. The guns they confiscated from that incident.
Some shit.
Looked like they were going to a fucking war.
But why though? Like, why are you walking around with, you have all this money, why not just hire security? Like you want to, it seemed to me like these dudes want to just prove they gangsters so bad. Like me at the point of, I'm not trying to prove I'm gay, especially once I get as much money as they got. Like, I'm not trying to prove I'm gangster. I'm trying to prove I'm rich. I'm trying to prove I could stay out of jail. Like, why would I want to? I'm not. It just baffles me how people get rich and then want to prove how hood they are. Like now that you're rich and you're in a position of opportunity, you got all these opportunities at your fingertips, and it's just. You so want to prove that you hood or like that you tough. It just don't make sense to me.
Well, some people don't like to be around cops, even cops on their payroll. Some people are also doing illegal activities the whole time and don't want to be around someone that might potentially testify against them. Like if you're sniffing coke all the time, I'm not saying that's what NBA YoungBoy doing, but if you're doing coke and drinking lean and taking a bunch of illegal narcotics, and you have a cop around you, you might think, well, at one point this guy might actually testify against me because.
I mean, he might testify, but you shouldn't be. Why? Like, here's security. So if you're gonna do that, go in your private room. Like, make the security stand outside. That's like it right here. If I had my security and it's an off-duty police officer, but we sitting in here doing coke, like he don't gotta sit in here with me. Like, sit outside, nigga. Like, we in here doing this. Like, you know what I mean?
I mean, I hope it works out, man. NBA YoungBoy seems like he has some deep-rooted issues.
He just seems like a kid to me. He's a kid. Like,
How old is he?
To me, he's like 21, 20. He should be about 21 now. I think he's about 21, 20.
NBA YoungBoy is 20 years old.
20 years old, yeah.
That's what it is.
He's a kid. You still childish. Like he's not
old enough to drink.
He's immature, is what I'm saying. He's still immature. He hasn't came to that point in his life where he really realized his position. Like I don't think he like really respects the position that he has.
I mean, his father, I'm looking this up, I didn't know this. His father, he was raised by his grandmother because his father got sentenced to 55 years in prison. So he comes from a family of...
So he was raised by, so that's probably why he doesn't respect his mother like that. I didn't know his grandma raised him like, but I see the lack of respect.
To his mother?
Yeah, it's
what
kind of, no, he's just like, just their relationship. It doesn't seem like it's like some real genuine love there. It seemed kind of like, I don't know, they got like a strange relationship. It's kind of strange.
Hey man, I don't talk to my mother.
I mean, yeah.
Shit happens.
Yeah.
You know, when my father was dying, what happened around that shit made me say, nah, I'm good.
So you really just don't talk, like,
Don't talk.
Not even trying to repair or nothing? I mean, people go through things. I'm not saying anything was wrong. I'm just saying, now that you say that, I could kind of see why they're, you know what I mean? It just kind of makes sense now. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, bro. My dad died since our last interview, and what happened?
Oh, serious? Recently?
Yeah, well, last November, I think.
Oh, well,
been
sorry
around.
to hear that. Sorry to hear
Thank you, man. And you know, I had to take over his care because what my mom was doing was like just frightening around that situation, and I had to completely take over his care. And going through that process, I just said, I'm good. I'm completely good.
Was it a good relationship though? Like beforehand?
It was already kind of you know, but you know, you don't choose your parents.
Exactly.
You get born into that situation.
Exactly.
And some people shouldn't have kids.
Exactly.
You know?
I believe in that too.
You know, this is why when abortion was legalized, 15 years later, you saw a massive drop in the crime rates, because all those kids that were going to be born into bad situations suddenly weren't born. See what I'm saying? You know, all the teenage moms, all the rape victims, all the one night stands,
Single parent homes,
all the, you know, the side chicks, you know, who's you know, guys married and has a whole family, to all the drug addicts, to, you know, everything else like that. All those situations, those women had an opportunity to abort their child and say, I don't want to bring a child into this situation because it's already bad. It's just going to get worse with a baby involved. And I'm just going to prevent this child from being born. To, you know, before that, if you're pregnant, you're going to have a baby. It just is what it is. And you're going to have to raise that baby. And it doesn't matter if you don't have the money. It doesn't matter if you don't have the time. It doesn't matter if you're 14. It doesn't matter if, you know, the guy is telling you he's not going to be around. Like, I'm not fucking with you. If you have this baby, you're on your own, and I'm not going to pay any child support, and I'm broke myself, so you can't take me to court and whatever else. You know, and then you have a kid growing up in a horrible situation, and the mother's telling him a bunch of foul shit about men, and, you know, and they grow up and become criminals. Not to say that happens every time, but it happens a lot more likely than a child that grows up in a two-family household. When two parent household, when those parents plan to have the child and look forward to having that child and prepared to have that child.
But a lot of those kids come out to be school shooters. Like,
of course,
you got
and
these
you
school
always gonna have
shooters
fucked
that
up
come from
situations.
a
But
good
I
house.
bet I bet you that most that on a percentage wise, planned children end up doing better in society than unplanned children.
Maybe.
I'm willing to look at whatever stats.
I just think it varies because some of the worst people in history came from good two-parent. Look at Jeffrey Dahmer. Jeffrey Dahmer he came from a two-parent home, normal, pretty upbringing. He just was a fucking weirdo on his own. Like, it's like, you're not guaranteed to be a good person just because you come from but you know what I mean? I think it just varies.
Yeah, but you also don't know what happened in that home. You don't know whether he was molested. You don't know whether he was tortured.
He never said it. He seemed to have a pretty. I seen videos of him before he went to jail and everything was pretty normal.
He seemed pretty normal.
He seemed pretty well. He was a little weird, but he seemed like he come from a normal household though.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean?
Well, I hope things work out for NBA YoungBoy, man, because he's in a position that very few artists are.
Exactly.
He has a huge fan base. He
made
has
a lot of money.
A lot of money, a lot of big songs. He has a lot of kids to take care of.
A lot of kids.
Like, how many kids does he have now? Like 6, 7?
I'm not sure.
Let's look it up. He has 4 children.
4?
From 4 different mothers.
I just hope he get it together, man.
No, 5. 5 children.
5 children?
5 children.
That's crazy.
And he's 20.
He's 20. I have 5 children at 38. Right. That's crazy.
You also were not as popular as NBA YoungBoy, though.
Yeah,
you didn't have as many opportunities.
Yeah, exactly. Like,
NBA YoungBoy's a superstar. I mean, you know,
superstar. You got 5 kids to take care of. You in a good position. I just think I think he needs to reevaluate his life and maybe get some better people around him. Like it seemed like I heard he got OGs around him and you know some all right stand-up guys around him, but it's just like this dude gonna go down the drain, bro. Like he in a good position, and I think they should do more to protect that spot. Like
he might violate his probation with this new case.
That's what I'm
I
thinking.
Hope not.
Like I hope
I'm not putting this in the universe. I hope not.
But it's a violation. It's a violatable offense. Like you shouldn't be in this situation.
It looks like it's about 30 guns and drugs on top of that.
There was a lot of guns, a lot of drugs,
a lot of guns. I remember when I was talking to some of the outlaws, and I believe this was on camera. We were talking about the Tupac murder in Las Vegas, right? And the whole thing of it was, usually the outlaws always had guns on them everywhere they went, right? But Tupac was out on, was it parole or probation?
He was on probation. No, he was on parole.
Parole, because he had won an appeal. So he was on parole. And they're going into Vegas, which is super strict when it comes to the gun laws, right? Illegal guns, that is. And their thing was none of them want to be the guy that sent Pac back to prison because they had a pistol on him.
But once again, you have a big superstar, millions of dollars. Why don't you have security, legal security?
He did have legal security.
That's what I'm saying. So why would you even be worried about that?
But that was the whole thing of he didn't have his gun on him. The guy behind, because Suge had just gotten a brand new BMW the day before, and he wanted to ride around with a superstar homie with the windows rolled down on Las Vegas Boulevard, hollering at girls, no bulletproof glass. I mean, because think about it, if Pac was in a Sprinter van.
Yeah, bulletproof.
It doesn't even have to be bulletproof. Because I interviewed Keefe D. Did you ever see that interview? They just accidentally ran into him.
Yeah, just on some humbug shit. But
over him hollering at some girls.
Vegas ain't that big. It's not that big.
Yeah, but it was fight weekend, jam-packed.
Still though, it's not that big. You run into people
man, look.
I've been to Vegas on when it's just crazy, what was it? All-Star Weekend. All-Star Weekend. And you'll be surprised of people you run into. It's damn, out of all the people here, I ran into this dude. It's crazy. It's not far-fetched, especially when somebody on your ass, you just beat the hell out this man.
You just beat the hell out of a murderer.
Y'all should have
I'm not saying he was a murderer, but he was being investigated for multiple murders. So we could just say that he was probably a murderer.
He was a murderer.
Right?
I mean, allegedly.
Orlando was probably a murderer.
Allegedly, let the streets tell it. He was a real active dude in the street.
He was an active gang member. Okay?
So
nobody from either side denies that part. You just beat up a murderer and you're rolling around with your windows wide open talking to girls.
That's what I'm saying.
If Pac had just been in the back of a Sprinter van,
I don't think
nothing would have happened. He would have went to Club 662, performed, bragged about beating the dude up on stage, had his shirt off.
And
Death Row, the untouchable Death Row, blah, 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 and went on to make more platinum albums.
Shit, probably would have never went to jail. I don't know, like, it just like, they could have did a lot to prevent that situation. Like, I don't want to keep harping because we always seem to, like, everything always seems to go back to the Tupac shooting or Tupac's death.
Hey, I've covered Tupac more than anybody. So
More than
no one can tell me
anybody,
shit.
like,
More than
you know,
anybody.
man.
And you know something? I've gotten more information than anybody.
You think so?
Come on now. Who got a Keefe D interview?
Yeah.
Who got an interview from beginning to end of the last living person in the car that shot up
Yeah, no
Tupac?
way. But do you think that everything he said was accurate?
No. There are some things that didn't add up. Like, at one point he claimed he ran into Tupac and like Suge the day before, but that's not true because Suge had arrived that same day.
See?
There was a few things that were slightly off, but most of it was right. Most of it lines up with the stories of everyone else that were there. You see what I'm saying? Like the government didn't kill Tupac.
No, I
Suge
never thought
Suge
that.
never got Tupac killed.
I never thought that.
I talked to the cop who showed up at the scene, the first responder, Chris Carroll. You know, I said, you know, one of the rumors is that you switched the bodies. He's like, well, I'd have to be riding around with a corpse on my bicycle, so I don't know how that's possible. You know?
I never believed in any of the conspiracy theories, none of this.
Yeah,
he's still alive. And
He's not alive. That's why I don't want to interview Suge Knight Jr. Because, Tupac's still alive. Like, no, he's not. Cut it out.
not.
It is what it is.
Did he say that?
Yeah, he went on a whole thing of Tupac's still alive.
Oh, wow.
So I'm not going along with that. Well, Dr. Dre is going through his divorce right now.
Man, that is crazy. Like, how y'all don't have no prenup? Like, I understand.
Well, he has a prenup. But she claims
but I heard he ripped it up.
Yeah, probably ripped up a copy of it.
Yeah.
And got the real one in the big safe.
But yeah, that's gonna be an expensive divorce. If she entitled to half, and he has a $1 billion fortune, that's gonna be an expensive divorce. And I heard she like requesting $2 million a month. Like what are you gonna do with $2 million a month?
$900,000 a month is entertainment expenses.
She's not an entertainer though.
No, for herself. Flights and vacations and
you don't gotta do all that. Like, you did that with me. Like, this was my money. Like, you did that because I afforded you to do it. Like, if we not together no more, that's not your lifestyle no more.
Well, I don't know.
I just don't understand.
Number one, he has a prenup. So really, it's really about the prenup.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I personally feel that any man or woman that goes into a marriage and has more than the other person should have a prenup.
Yeah.
Now, a prenup doesn't mean the other person gets nothing.
Mm-hmm.
You could have, from what I heard, like, I don't know if it's true or not, but I heard that Wiz Khalifa and Amber Rose had like $1 million prenup. So when they got divorced, he wrote her $1 million check.
Yeah, that's cool. Like,
but then she had to go start making her own money after that.
Yeah. But as you should. You're not with me no more. I'm rich.
Right. Now prenups don't include child support. There's no such thing as a child support prenup.
Mm.
Whatever your child is supposed to get is what you're going to pay. Doesn't matter what you and your ex-wife have signed.
Mm-hmm.
That's based on your salary and whatever the custody is and stuff like that. But you should always have a prenup because the way the laws are set up are ridiculous.
Yeah, it's just crazy.
You're entitled to half of everything the person with the higher income earner has made, but you've spent that money along the way. So if y'all have made $1 million, now she's owed $500,000, but you only have $100,000 left because you spent the $900,000. You still got to come up with another $500,000. Like,
that don't even make no sense. That don't make sense.
It doesn't make sense. But but some women, most successful men are either married or they have a very strong relationship at home with a female. Mm. So a lot. I don't want to at all say that just because a woman is not the face of whatever your business is, doesn't mean that she doesn't play a very vital role in everything you've accomplished.
But
because she's the person that you're really talking to the most.
In some cases.
Most cases. But
I don't think that entitles you to half of my fortune if we getting divorced. Like if we
I
parting
say,
ways, you're not entitled
the
to
prenup
half.
should be fair, and as you make more money, you should be redoing your prenup. So let's just say when y'all get together, the prenup is
$1 million.
Whatever, $1 million, but then you become a billionaire, so you turn that million to 10 million.
That's cool. That's cool, but
yeah,
half, that's just ridiculous. Like Steven Spielberg had like the most expensive divorce in history. Like,
oh really?
Steven Spielberg, like the most, she had to get like, it was like, what was that, 900 million, like damn near half of, he had a lot of money and she was entitled to half. He had to pay her out a lot of money.
$100 million.
That's a lot.
In 1989.
That back then, that was the most expensive divorce.
And it was almost only 3 or 4 years.
That is crazy.
100 million. In today's dollars, that's 206 million.
That is crazy. Crazy.
Yeah, you gotta marry the right one. If you get married.
No, you just gotta have a good prenup, Senator. You know you got some money. Make sure you get that prenup.
Well, you made some comments. Speaking of Dre, you had made some comments about this Dre and Snoop picture.
Oh my God. That was zesty as hell. Like, it's super
What makes this picture so zesty?
Look at it. Like, it just looks zesty as hell. Like,
the shoulders are touching a little bit.
It's just zesty, bro. It's just like, I don't know.
I guess their feet are sort of on top of each other a little bit.
Yeah, it's just bro, it looked like a Puffy and French Montana picture. Like,
oh, they have pictures like this too?
Yeah. Yeah, actual spooning going on. It's crazy.
Wait, are you talking about this picture right here?
Definitely that picture, yes. Spooning. It's spooning, bro.
And Puffy's shirt is off. I've never seen that picture before.
It's zesty as hell, though, bro.
That's a weird picture.
It's zesty. Like,
I'm cool with French and all, but this is a weird picture, French.
It's weird, bro. And all the things you hear about Puff, like, that is strange. Like, that's some strange shit.
That is a weird picture, I gotta say. Yeah, I wouldn't compare the Dre and Snoop picture to that one.
I would.
You would?
That's bro. Like, I don't even take a picture with my girl like that. Me and my girl don't even have pictures like that. Like, they look like they was on a couple's picnic, and it's like somebody put her like, "Oh, can you take a photo of us?" Like, it was just zesty as hell for two dudes who came out who really was like so influential and such a big part of putting gangster rap and the whole gangster image on the map. To see them years later in a pic like that, like, nah, that's not gangster, bro. There's nothing gangster at all about that.
Well, then there's the Trippie Redd picture.
That's the zestiest boy out right now. He seems like he competing to be the zestiest. Like, I swear, like it seemed like him and Lil Pump. Lil Pump is just like, oh, look at me, I'm zesty too. Like, but it's like, he seemed like him and Trippie Redd is like in a direct competition for the zestiest. Like,
right, he's got yellow toenails,
bro.
Toenail polish. He said you looking like a male escort. He said he's looking like a male escort on his 15-minute break
between hand jobs. I be on their ass, Vlad. I ain't letting nobody live.
Did he respond to you at all?
No. Because they know not to. They know not to. Like,
you got nothing to lose, man.
You
don't want to go up against
Boskoe.
Boskoe.
Yeah, like, but what can you really say? Like, you can't, it's not like I'm lying. Like, you put this out. This is social media. We're entertainers. You're an entertainer. You place yourself in the realm as an entertainer. And the things you put up and you put out there, you do it for the feedback. So how can you be mad at the feedback that you're getting? Like, people are going to have an opinion, and it's just...
Yeah, I remember Young Thug used to, like, from what I understand, like, be mad at me over me making comments about him wearing dresses.
How can you be mad?
But you're wearing dresses.
You're wearing dresses, bro.
I didn't Photoshop that dress on you.
You wore it, bro.
You went into your closet and you picked out that dress. And that dress was not from the male section of the store.
So if I get on here and say, damn, y'all look feminine and shit, what are you going to be? I'm not lying. You look feminine and shit, bro.
Right. Like, Dave Chappelle, the Prince skit on Dave Chappelle.
So funny.
Where he was like, shirts versus blouses. And he's like, Prince started ice grill bean. I'm like, what you mad at me for? You know where you bought that shirt.
Yeah,
it wasn't in the men's section.
Exactly. He's like, so how can you be mad? It don't even make no sense. Like, that's why I don't care. It's like, bro, like the truth hurts, but the truth is the truth. Like now, if I was lying on you guys and just jumping on the internet, making up shit and propaganda, that's one thing. But this is like, you can't be never mad at a man stating an observation. I don't make up anything on anybody. All I do is state observations, and that's it. That's why I feel so comfortable and I say what I want to say, because I'm not gonna say nothing fake. Everything is, I only state facts. So if I state a fact, if you mad at a fact, then you need to change your truth. Then that's on you, bro.
Well, a picture that I did not expect to see on your Instagram feed is this picture right here.
Yeah, but see,
you and Anderson Cooper.
Anderson Cooper,
who is gay, by the way, who's out of the closet. You know,
openly
what I mean?
Gay.
Openly. Yeah. You could say, oh, like these guys are zesty, but Snoop is straight. Trippy Red is straight. He has a girlfriend.
I don't know what he is.
I don't know what he is.
I don't know a straight man that takes pictures like that. So
I think it's trolling. Matter of fact, I think Young Thug is straight. I think listen. I've interviewed Trippy Red's ex-girlfriend Coi Leray. Like they were definitely in a sexual relationship.
Yeah, that's cool, but Bruce Jenner was in a sexual relationship. Right?
Yeah, I guess.
I mean, Bruce Jenner got grandkids, and like you were in a straight relationship, and he turns 63 and decides he wants to be a gilf. Like it's just
well, why? Number one, how did you even run into Anderson Cooper, and why does he have a broom?
I was
sweeping up or something.
I was actually like, yeah, I think he lives right there somewhere. I was in New York,
yeah,
and I was just randomly. It was so random because we were just walking around, just interacting with the people and talking to people. Yeah. And Anderson Cooper just comes walking right into us, like we were walking down the street. I think we were headed like northbound, and he was like coming southbound, and we just ran right. And I'm looking, I'm like, oh shit, that's Anderson Cooper. But see, that's the thing. I don't hate gays. I don't want anybody to think I'm like a gay basher. I'm not a gay basher. I don't have a problem with gays. My problem is the way they try to push the gay thing on the culture. Like, I don't want people to feel like it's like the image of the black man is just becoming that trippy red. Like every time I turn on the TV, you just see a zesty gay black man or some black man kissing, or it's just always, it's like they're trying to change the image of the black man. And it's like,
but there's always been gay black men.
Yeah, no, there always has been.
There always has been.
There always has been.
Do you have gay people in your family?
Of course, plenty.
There you go.
But
they're not out there pushing
like I don't just think it shouldn't be. Your lifestyle is your lifestyle, but don't try to force your lifestyle on us or just expect everyone to be in agreement or everyone to.
Number one, like I said, I don't think Trippy Red is gay, but if he wants to wear yellow nail polish, and I think he's really just trolling when he does that, because he knows that people like you will go and make a big deal out of it, and promote him essentially.
Yeah, but it's like, all right, this is promoting you, but you still zesty your shit to me. Like, it's good promotion. Yeah, all publicity is good publicity. But
listen. Anderson Cooper is openly gay.
Yeah, he's openly gay man. But you don't never hear me speak on him. There's no point. He's an openly gay man. It's like, for me to say something about him, it's like, duh. Like, what are you talking about? He's gay. So that's what I'm saying. I don't speak on but it's some things that throw me for a loop sometimes. Like, I'll see like it's a dude out here. I can't even think of the dude's name, but the dude got a fucking beard with a lineup and a fade, but he got on full makeup, eyelashes. It just don't. It's like, bro, like pick a side. Like you got to pick your lane. Like, I'm a father. I got 4 kids, and it's like they trying to normalize all of that stuff, and it's like, what do kids have to look up to nowadays? Like, what is my son like? If my son is a Young Thug fan, Trippy Red fan, like, this is the thing he has to look up. And I don't, like, as a father, you don't want to come home and your son tell you, like, hey, Pops, I like sucking cock. Like, you know what I mean? It's like you try to...
Maybe, that's just... you know, that's the direction he wants to take his life.
No, if that is, that's fine, but don't only show him that.
Well,
like that's the
didn't
thing.
you-
I'm not gonna only show him that. Like if he
I think there's plenty of heterosexual imagery out there in the world.
I don't
You're
think
not going to tell me that all we see is gay imagery. Come on, that's just not true.
It's a
It's
lot.
just not true.
That's not all we see.
Mostly what we
it's
see,
a lot.
99% of the time. In fact, whenever you see gay imagery, there's always kind of a big deal. Like, oh, you know, Disney has a gay couple. or
Exactly.
whatever else.
Like that's what I'm saying. You don't. Why would Disney have to have a gay couple? Like that's not something that needs to be taught to a kid. Like if they find that out on their own on the street, that's one thing. But they don't need to sit and watch cartoons with men kissing all day. Like that's not like, you know what I mean? That's not what we should be teaching the kids. Like you shouldn't teach the kids that, oh, it's okay to kiss them. Like you shouldn't teach them that. I just honestly but like I said, I don't have a problem with gays. I just have a problem with them. It's like y'all turning the culture, like y'all purposely trying to feed the culture that, like, it just.
I don't know, man. Like, I've been around gay men. I mean, I have gay employees. Like,
Yeah.
you know, I've been around gay men for a big chunk of my life. You know, I have, you know, it doesn't matter how much gay imagery I see. It won't make me want to be gay. Like, I love women. So it doesn't, me being around gay imagery or whatever doesn't somehow alter my personal preferences.
I think
Right.
you personally and as an adult,
But even as a kid, I always knew I was straight. I never thought I was gay as a kid.
but us as a kid, you didn't see too much gay imagery though. It wasn't just
there was always gay characters on television, and you know,
No,
there was
who?
always something.
who growing up, like you're a little older than me, so like
Okay,
who
let's
was
take a look.
in that era, like who was actually like openly just gay and flamboyant, and it wasn't like that. Like it was like, you know, you had people that were gay and you knew that, but like now it just seemed like they're really pushing that, like, yeah, this world is gay, and it's like, bro, like, what about the strong black, like, you guys don't, I feel like, all right, I'll say this. I don't feel like they highlight the image of a stand-up black man enough. Like they don't highlight it as much as they highlight the black gay guy image.
Well, because I think maybe because gay people have always been ridiculed, persecuted, you know, bashed. Where I think a lot of people growing up who are gay end up being, you know, no one's in the closet for being straight, right?
Mhm.
But people are in the closet for being gay.
Because it's a religious thing. Like this world, this country was based off of Christianity. When we came here, it was a Christian country. And this is the things in the Bible that you force-fed us for years. You force-fed us this Christianity, and that it was wrong to be gay, and Sodom and Gomorrah, and God destroyed the world. Like, all right. So you force-fed us this, and now years later, now you're telling me, oh, well, it's okay to be gay. And so basically what you're telling me is you force-fed me this bullshit. So basically you're telling me that the Bible is bullshit, and I should, like, what is this country based off of then?
Well,
Like,
I mean, if you are looking at the Bible and want to take everything on a literal basis and follow exactly everything you read, you're going to have a very hard life ahead of you.
that's why I don't.
Because this is a 2,000-year-old document from a very different world. It was, you know, I'm not religious, so, you know, I feel that it was written by man. It was written by men as opposed to women. It was
written by a gay man. I heard King James was gay.
The King James Bible. Yeah, I mean,
King James was gay. Like, that's what I'm saying.
There was lots of stuff. It was used. You know, people understood the power of it, so it was used to perpetuate certain things, like, which is why Jesus looks the way he looks. When we all know that Jesus, there was no one that looked like a white guy with long straight hair
and blue
silky
eyes
straight hair and blue eyes in that region. Because I've been to Israel. I've been to where Jesus was crucified. I actually went to the actual spot where he was crucified.
In Jerusalem?
In Jerusalem.
Yeah.
The Church of the Sepulchre, where it was built on top of the actual spot of the crucifixion, and and I actually touched the tomb that they say he was buried in, right? Like it all happened right there. It is too damn hot for white people to really exist in that region.
Yeah, but
you needed more melanin to really just survive. This is pre-air conditioning, pre-tinted glass, pre-refrigeration, pre-ice cubes.
So that's
you
what I'm
had to
saying.
be brown in order to just live to your 20s.
So
in that region.
Is it safe to say that this country is built on lies and illusions?
I think every country is built on lies and illusions. I don't think that America is unique in that regard. I mean, shit, North Korea, the Kim Jong-un is considered a god.
That's crazy.
He rides unicorns and shit. Like, every country is built on. I mean, look at Trump.
What about Trump?
Compulsive liar.
Is he really?
Everything is fake news.
This country
He only
is fake news.
He only paid $750 and he's supposed to be a billionaire that pays $750 in federal income tax for years. In fact, in 10 of the 15 years, I don't think he paid anything. He got a refund. He allegedly loses money every year. Trump, like, do you know how much I pay in fucking taxes, yo? Like, it turns my stomach how much I have to pay in taxes. I have paid millions. Let me just say it. I have paid millions of dollars in taxes. Millions with an S on the end. Over the course of my life, millions of dollars went straight to the government that I could have spent. Trump is paying $750. And when the New York Times, which is a very legitimate 100-year-old publication, they said, we have his tax returns and we are standing behind it. He said, it's all fake.
But this is the thing. Why is everybody so focused on what Trump is paying for taxes? What about what Grant Cardone is paying for? How much is he paying in taxes every year? Like, is he the only one? Why you only want to focus on Trump? Like, what about, it's the whole world. It's not just Trump. Trump is only one man in the world. Trump is not the bug. Like, this country is ran by the people. Trump is a fucking employee of us. He's an employee of the people of the United States. Trump, if he's able to do that, it's because you let him do that. You created a loophole. The people.
Well, he's being audited. So honestly, whatever loophole he felt he found, he's potentially facing $100 million fine on his so-called loopholes. And they're saying that he may not even be a billionaire. And he's the only president in modern history that hasn't released his tax returns. And he still hasn't. And every time something comes up, whenever lie he gets caught into, he just says, oh, that's fake news.
Yeah, but it's always, I just think people just try to target Trump. I think Trump.
Are you a Trump supporter? Is this what I'm hearing right now?
No.
Not that there's anything wrong with that.
No,
Not that there's anything wrong with that. Everyone has their own political view.
I'm
not a Trump supporter.
I'm just a realist and I'm not a follower. So I don't like to, I'm not going to jump on I'm not a supporter, but I'm not a hater. I'm not jumping on this Trump, fuck Trump, bad. Like, Trump doesn't affect my life negatively in any kind of way.
You don't think so?
He hasn't affected my life negatively.
You don't think that there's somewhat of a race war going on these days?
It's been going on. This race war been going on.
I think it's gotten worse. I think
people have been getting killed by the police since way before Trump was in office. This is nothing new. The shit that's going on right now been going on before Trump.
You haven't seen the number of riots happen. I remember the Rodney King riots. I remember being in Berkeley when that shit spread.
I was in LA when it started.
So you were part of the riots.
I wasn't part of it. I was a kid, but I remember I was in the jungles at the day the riot started. We were in the jungle. My grandmother lived in the Baldwin Hills section of LA.
Inglewood, right?
No, it's not. It's not far from Inglewood, but it's the Baldwin Hills section of Los Angeles. I was in the jungle at my great grandmother's house. And we were watching it start to unfold on TV. And I remember my mom saying, oh shit, like this is getting crazy. Let's leave. This is getting crazy out here. And I remember being in a car and driving down Crenshaw and seeing this shit starting to just unfold, like people just going crazy. I remember riding through afraid, like, oh shit, like, you know what I mean? I remember that shit. And the shit been going on for years. So it ain't, we didn't just start riding.
Look how much time passed
Mhm.
from the LA riots to what happened now, there really has not been a major riot until George Floyd.
But
LA riots was what, 91?
But I think
That's like 30 years.
Yeah, no, 92.
92. 28 years passed. And now, once the George Floyd thing set off, bunch of riots. And a lot of times it just ends up being, you see these white groups show up. You know, like the Kenosha shooter and everything else like that. These white groups show up and end up clashing with the BLM groups.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, even Freeway Ricky, who's 60 years old, said things are worse now than he ever remembers them in terms of the racial conditions, in terms of the interactions and racial tensions in America. And he is 60. He's older than both of us. Have you seen a progression?
No, I saw a regression.
Oh, so it's getting worse.
It's getting worse. But, you know, they say sometimes the good things start after the storm. So, you know, as the storm goes on and it hits its strongest point, it starts to weaken. So it's got to be the strongest part of the storm. It has to start getting weaker.
I don't know. Hell, I don't see it any worse than it always has been. It always been. I've always, like, I went to school. I didn't always grow up just in the middle of the hood. Like, I went to schools, and I went to predominantly white schools, and I went to school in Orange County before, and, like, you know what I mean? I went to other schools, and it was always racial shit. Like, it was always like, you know what I mean? I went to schools and lived in places sometimes where we were the only black family on the whole block. Mm-hmm. And it was only 4 black kids in the whole school. Like, you know what I mean? So I've always dealt with racism my whole life, but it wasn't like, I don't see it being any worse now than it was back then, is what I'm saying. The only thing I see is that now we have social media.
Yeah,
and
there's that.
It's not, see, back then, anything that happened, we only had the news to look forward to see, to find out about it. But now,
or word of mouth.
Yeah, and you know the news doesn't cover every single thing that happens.
Yeah.
But now we have social media, we have iPhones and camera phones, and so a lot more things that are actually happening are actually getting out to the public, and people are more informed now.
Yeah.
So that's all it is. I think whatever's going on now, been going on. It's just that the people have more of a voice now. That's what it is.
Well, the FBG Duck murder happened. Yeah. I saw you put that on your, you would put something like, I guess there was a rumor there was $1 million on his head.
That's what I heard, but it didn't make no sense to me like that. It don't make no sense.
Nobody has $1 million to put on
somebody's head.
FBG
like,
Duck because he made some songs
like that
you don't like.
I think if somebody had $1 million to put on somebody's head, they would have put it on 6ix9ine head. But you know what I mean?
Well, I had interviewed FBG Duck twice.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to say that was my man or we never hung out. We never got on the phone. Our only interactions was those 2 interviews, but those 2 interviews were pretty deep.
And I watched them too. And that's what I'm saying. I watched those interviews, and just me, I'm not saying I was a big fan of his music, but I just looked at it when I watched those interviews. I just thought, like, this a real dude right here. Like, this a real, like, you know what I mean? He didn't give me that 6ix9ine vibe. No, this a real dude right here. You're real street. You know what I mean?
But if you remember my first interview, he talked about being shot twice and stabbed by his ex-girlfriend. But you know, the shooting is what I kind of focused on. And I spent like 15 minutes trying to convince him to move out of Chicago. And he kept giving me reasons why he's not going to move out.
Mm-hmm.
Why stay in Chicago when these types of shootings are happening?
See, what it is with me, like, I got more in Chicago probably than they got more in Chicago. Like, it's shit that I gotta make sure I take care of here first before I do anything. Like, you feel me? Like, and plus I ain't the type of motherfucker that wanna go move to another city because I don't trust nobody. You feel me? I don't trust new people. I don't wanna hang around new people. I don't want no new friends. Cause I don't trust nobody. Yeah, motherfucker could turn fake on you anywhere. You can die anywhere. You can get shot anywhere. You feel me? But it's just like in Chicago, I know better. You feel me? Like, I know what to do and what don't to do and what not to do. You feel me?
He gets killed in Chicago. broad daylight. He was in front of one of these designer stores.
Mhm.
2 cars pulled up, opened fire, killed him, shot the girl with him. She returned fire. She had a gun on her, and then a fan that was just trying to take a picture with him or talking to him got hit as well.
Mhm.
I interviewed his mother. Did you watch that?
I watched bits and pieces. I didn't watch it because I didn't want to hear, like, you know what I mean? I didn't watch it.
Okay. And this was very different for us. It was like, I've never interviewed the mother of someone who had just gotten killed, rapper or otherwise.
What made you do this one? Like, what made this one different?
What made me do it? Well, number one, I had 2 interviews with him, right? And in that interview, we had also talked about his brother getting killed maybe a year prior to that last interview I did. So FBG Brick. So now you have, and then I found out that she lost her 3-year-old daughter in a house fire.
Oh wow!
And she was after the murder happened, she had made some public appearances and was begging the public for not to have a retaliation killing over her son and for Chicago just not to fall into, because if you really think about it, right, FBG Duck was the highest profile rapper to ever get killed in Chicago. You have Lil JoJo, you have L.A. Capone, you have all these other figures that are these legendary, O Block was named after this one guy and so forth. But these were all fairly underground rappers. They'd have a local Chicago hit and people fucked with them. But FBG Duck had like 100 million views. He had songs like Slide. He was on a major label. He had a bunch of songs that were like big songs with tens of millions of views.
I'm mad, like I really didn't, because I'm not gonna lie, like I never heard an FBG Duck song until he died. Like,
Slide was like a hit. I'm not gonna say it was like a Taylor Swift hit, but it was a hit that people fucked with. It was a song that was very, that was a song that got him the deal. It was a popular big song with a video to go along with it. You have a situation where I have a connection to her son. And the story is so tragic and she's doing public statements. I just figured, hey, maybe she wants to talk about it, because I feel like when it comes to stuff like this, it gets glamorized in a weird sort of way. It's like, now FBG Duck's on a t-shirt. No, okay, this area is going to be named after him and, all this type of stuff. And it almost is like he's looked at as a hero in a type of way. And I wanted to say, okay, you could hold on to that part. That's cool. Like, listen, this guy put in, he released a certain level of art to the world and people he had fans and so forth. But I want people to see what happens on the other side when you have this crying mother who has to think about this every day for the rest of her life, who's lost 3 children. She has 10 kids. She's lost 3 of her children violently, all 3 of them violently. And I was just like, look, I want people to see, like, because no one wants to see their mother cry. I mean, even though I don't talk to my mother, I don't want to see her cry and grieving over my situation. Like, I want people to see, like, look, everyone who saw, and millions of people watched this interview. I think like maybe 2-3 million people watched it all together. All those millions of people, I felt like at least one person's going to look at that and say, I never thought of the implications of what I'm doing. I'm gonna put the gun down. I'm not gonna write this diss song, because he did a song called 30 Bitches, where he basically started talking about all the dead people.
No, dead bitches.
Dead bitches, sorry.
Dead bitches.
Yeah, dead bitches.
That's dope. I've been playing that a lot lately.
You been playing that song?
Yeah, it's dope. It's dope. That's what I'm
I
saying.
listened to a little bit of it, but by the time I heard it, he was already dead, and I just sort of was like, I don't really want to listen to it.
But look, at the same time, like, how come, like when Mac Miller died, did you get to go interview his mother? Or like
I didn't really have a connection to Mac Miller like that. I had done a very brief interview with him. It wasn't, you know what I mean? I just didn't have that same level of connection. I think it's important though. I think people need to see, like, you need to see, you know, not only seeing your own mother in this situation, but also seeing the mother of your victims.
But what
in
about
this situation?
What about, like, that's what I'm saying, like, it seems like people only care if you die a violent death. What about all these people overdosing on drugs? Like, what about trying to prevent somebody to see it and like, damn, I'm not gonna do drugs, or maybe like, you know what I mean? Or I'm not gonna. It's like, I think it should have the same, like, it should hold the same weight.
It should.
It should be just as important.
I get it, and I'm probably going to interview more mothers as time progresses. This is the first time we've ever done that, and I think that the reaction, even people who don't like me, were making videos talking about, yeah, this was a very important interview that Vlad did, you know, because it's not about me. It's about the person who's in front of the camera. I'm behind the camera, just sort of steering the interview a certain type of way. You know, I think that people got to see this, and you know, hopefully this murder will get solved. Last I checked, it was unsolved.
Most murders go unsolved.
I just don't know how. I mean, this was done in the middle of like Rodeo Drive of Chicago.
G-Ride, COVID-19, probably have a mask on. I'm looking at, like, right now is like you see, look at what's going on in New York. Like, you see New York is like just broke out into a rash. Like, people are getting murdered left and right in Brooklyn, and people walking around with masks all day. Like, I'm a little more on high alert right now with niggas. Like just last night, per se. Last night, I'm sitting there, me and my boy. I pulled up and meet my boy at a Circle K, and we sitting there chopping it up at a Circle K, and we sitting in the car smoking a blunt, and it's people coming in and out the Circle K, and it's like all these people just pulling up, mask on, shady looking dudes, seedy looking characters, and I'm just like, you know what I mean? I'm on high alert, kind of like, and it's just like, it's crazy, bro. Like the time we living in right now it's gonna be a lot more. We're gonna see a lot more, I think.
Nothing wrong with being on a high alert.
Yeah.
You know, the times in my life that bad things happen to me is because I just assume that nothing gonna happen. The times that I came in prepared and I got security with me, or I got a weapon on me, you know what I mean? Because I usually have some sort of weapon on me when I move around. Like, those times seem like nothing would ever happen during those times, you know?
I always think something gonna happen.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. But the times that I'm like, ain't nothing gonna happen to me. I'm Vlad. I'm this. Oh, this is. I'm safe with this person.
That's what happens.
Like, and that's when shit just goes terribly fucking wrong. You know, because you're.
That's why we got a saying in the street: "Stay dangerous."
Stay dangerous.
Stay dangerous.
YG said he didn't
make that up.
I don't know. He didn't make that up, but he popularized it.
He probably popularized it. But we've been saying that in my hood for years, way before. Like,
stay dangerous.
I like years. That. We've been stay dangerous.
Like, I feel you.
Be safe, but stay dangerous. Never lose your edge. Like, don't lose your edge. Like,
what do you think of the Tory Lanez Megan Thee Stallion situation?
I think if he did shoot, it's all alleged. I don't know who's telling the truth or who's lying. I can't say nobody's telling the truth, and I can't say who's lying because I wasn't there. But it's just a clown situation. Who shoots at a broad? Like me personally, like, who shoots at a woman? Like, and then it was just like some retard shit. I think he's a clown. If he did do it, I think he's a clown for that. There's no excuse. I was drunk. Like, I'll never be drunk and get into it with a female and start shooting at her. No kind of like fucking clown shit. I think he a clown for that.
I mean, people have gotten mad at me and my stance about this. And my thing is, we just don't know what really happened. And people are like, a woman got shot, it shouldn't matter. No, it should matter.
Something happened. I don't think she's lying. That's like the same way if she said if she's telling you, this man shot at me, he shot at me, that's why I'm shot in the foot. That's like the same, like, why is she lying? That's like, so she could be lying. You want to say, oh, she's lying. And
I'm not saying she's lying.
But the women who accused Bill Cosby, the women who accused Bill Cosby, raping them, drugging them, and doing things to them, they just right. You could believe that. Oh, they're right. They're.
Well, look, this is my point. If Tory Lanez shot her, number one, he got arrested that day, right, and released.
I don't know. I think he posted bail.
Posted bail. There were 4 people in that car, I think. 3 or 4 people. There was a driver, Megan, Tory, and I heard one other person.
Mm.
She is on camera on a public video saying he shot me. Explain to me why Tory Lanez has not been charged. Explain to me why there's not a police report.
And he did get charged, right? Then he out on bail?
He didn't get charged with shooting her.
See, that's what I'm saying. Explain to me. That's
why is he not facing, like, he's not facing shooting charges right now?
That's what.
Why? You think LAPD is protecting Tory Lanez? You think LAPD gives 2 fucks about this Canadian 5-foot-tall rapper?
I think for the same reason why Tory Lanez was able to call Instagram and get his Instagram back. Like the same.
Tory Lanez is not going to get LAPD to drop clear charges against him. All I'm saying is I just want to see the police report and I want to see the whole story.
I don't understand either, because if it was me, I know I would be sitting in jail right now.
I'd probably be sitting in jail right now.
Yeah, so I don't understand.
But why is he not in jail? Why is he not being charged? He's actually making songs about the shit. She's talking about the shit. There's all types of, you don't have to give a statement if you're publicly saying some shit. That anything you say can and will be used against you. So if you are on Instagram saying, like, yo, if she is on Instagram saying Tory Lanez shot me, that is already evidence that could be used against him. Like those charges should have came down the next day. But you just don't see charges. So I'm just like, yo, I just want to know what happened, because, there's a good reason to shoot anybody. Women, men,
I mean,
fucking animals.
If it wasn't a good reason, if it wasn't a good reason to shoot anybody, then we wouldn't have a constitutional right to bear arms.
Right. Right. So, there is a reason,
But I don't think there's any good reason or any good excuse why she was shot. Like, it's nothing that anybody.
It doesn't sound like there's a good excuse.
Why was she shot? Like, if you didn't shoot her, then who did shoot her? If she got in the car with you, if it was 4 other people there.
Let me give you an example, right? What if she shot at him first and he was returning fire?
Where's her gun residue? Like, you didn't get no gun residue off of her. Y'all didn't catch her with
she wasn't arrested.
Y'all didn't find her with no fire. So how did she?
How do you know there's no gun residue? You saw the police report and it said there's no gun residue on her?
No, she didn't. Why haven't she been charged with shooting then?
We don't know. We don't know who the fuck is being charged, or we don't know. We don't have the police report.
That's what I understand.
In fact, the police said that her foot, they let her go because it looked like just broken glass. You see what I'm saying? Like,
all right, but how would broken glass get into her foot?
I don't know. I have no idea. There's one story I saw that he said, "Dance, bitch," and he shot at her foot. And
that sounds believable.
That sounds believable.
That's what I thought.
Let me see the police report, and I'll be like, "Fuck Tory Lanez." Then let me get a real police statement. Let me actually see what the investigators came up with, and tell me the whole story. What led up to that?
Yeah, I mean, just like if somebody said, it's just like the Tupac rape victim that you interviewed. What's her name?
Ayanna Jackson.
Ayanna, do you believe her story?
I believe most of it. And I felt that there were certain things that I said through the interview that caught her in certain things that she had to correct herself, because I was very well informed about this. I also talked to Tupac's road manager, who was his co-defendant, who was there the whole time. Mm-hmm. And when the whole interview was released and I spoke to him, he said what she said was relatively accurate. He said there was a few things that were a little wrong, like, you know, her saying she went downstairs and went back up. She said that never happened. And, you know, she said that they weren't really in the same room. Basically, the way he described it, because she was saying how he was there while the dudes was raping her or whatever. The way his manager, road manager, described it was that he was in the room with her. The dudes came in and he walked out at the same time. Like whatever happened between those guys and her, he was not present. You know, but on the flip side, you know, if you look at this through a 2020 lens, and this just happened, you know, people wouldn't be looking at Pac as a straight victim right now. It's like, hey, listen, this girl came over to fuck with you, and a bunch of other dudes ran a train on her. You know, you probably should have. And, you know, now she's saying she wasn't cool with it. Since she was there to see you, you probably should have made more of an effort to protect her.
But
while
she knew them, though. She knew them guys, though. So why would I have to protect you against guys you know? You said these were friends.
Did she know those guys?
She knew them. She knew Haitian Jack and them? She knew them, right?
Yeah, I don't remember this part of the story. You might be right. I'm not sure. But it's a little bit of a gray area. And I remember when I talked to his road manager and I said, you know, when she like woke him up and said, oh, yeah, they raped me. How did you let this happen? If Pac didn't say, get that bitch out of here, if he would have been like, okay, come on, let's go talk. Let me calm you down. He said, none of this would have happened.
I mean, understandable.
Yeah, you don't let a girl leave angry.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You humble yourself in that situation.
It was a crazy situation.
It was a fucked up situation. You know, rest in peace, Chadwick Boseman.
Yeah, Chadwick. Yeah, he was. You know, it's crazy. He was a dope actor. I really was just like right before he died. Where was I coming from? I think I went to Detroit. And I think I was on my way back from Detroit, and I watched the movie 21 Bridges.
Yeah,
and I was like, this dude is a dope actor. I swear to God, like a couple of days later, he just dead. Like, and I was
43 years old.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I actually scheduled a colonoscopy after this shit. He died of colon cancer.
I'm not ready for nobody to dig in my eyes.
Well, I mean, you know, it sounds all whatever zesty, like how you like to say.
No, because that don't sound dead. It's medical reasons.
It's medical. It's like if he had that procedure early on, they would have caught his colon cancer. You know.
But what age do you suppose?
You're supposed to do it at 45.
45.
He was only 43. So he caught it earlier than. You know, then they would have naturally caught it. I mean, but maybe if he had if he had felt some sort of discomfort or whatever and kind of went out of his way to go get some extra tests, maybe a few years prior, they may have caught it early enough in order to end up, you know, using radiation or whatever else. But yeah, I'm getting a colonoscopy. I'm 47. You know, my doctor told me at 45, you should be getting one.
Kind of got you spooked. Little bit, kind of like got you.
Yeah, it got me a little spooked because you have to go under general anesthesia. They have to completely knock you out. You know, you don't want to be awake during a horrific thing like that. But you know, a lot of people, you know, a lot of my viewers, they're like, you know, oh fuck doctors, you know, I'm going to use natural remedies or I'm going to do that shit, and that's cool if you want to do that. You could do that, but you know, Chadwick Boseman, the Black Panther, probably had access to the finest alternative medicine that money could buy, and he still died.
That's crazy.
So, you know, go and get your proper tests. Go and get checked out. Go and get your physicals.
Everyone don't have the proper insurance though, and the proper you know what I mean? It's like
if you buy a pair of Nikes every month and you don't have insurance, you're an idiot. Let me just say that flat out. My entire staff, all 12 or so people that work for me, all have medical insurance that we pay for. When you work for Vlad TV, and this was a big accomplishment for us. You know, I think it started maybe at the top of the year or last year or something like that. I don't remember exactly when. But our big thing was like, most of my employees are younger people in their 20s, and then they think that insurance is not that important, and they don't want to spend the extra few $100s a month on insurance. And I know that. So I went out of my way where we, you know, at a cost to us, because no one's salary got lowered or anything else like that. At a cost completely on us, we made sure that everyone had basic medical, dental, vision, and some life insurance on top of it that we pay for out of our own pocket. You know what I'm saying? And everyone in my family has health insurance and so forth. Because, I also heard, I remember when I first started making money, I remember my man Gabi, who I worked out with SRC, was like, yeah, man, I know a lot of dudes who made a lot of money over the years. It stacked up a lot. And then they got into some sort of medical situation. They got cancer or they got this or whatever, and they didn't have insurance and they got wiped out financially. And I'm like, okay, that's not going to be me. I'm going to spend a few $100s a month and I'm going to make sure that I have access to whatever.
That's a good thing. I think people need to preach that more. People need to be more informed on the importance of being insured and insuring your loved ones. And, you know what I mean?
Man, look, it's like this. Warren Buffett said it. He said, imagine if, when you graduate high school, you could pick whatever car you want, right? You could pick a pickup truck, a Bentley, a Mercedes, a Lamborghini, whatever else. But that's going to be the only car you have for the rest of your life. You could pick whatever car, but you could never get another one. How would you treat that car?
Same way you should treat your body.
Right. Would you take it for, would you make sure when the oil's low that you go get oil, or are you going to go get the go down the dealership and make sure that, every 50,000 miles they go and do the whole tune-up and everything else like that. You're gonna make sure that if the tire indicator goes on, you're gonna keep riding on that tire hoping it don't pop.
But who really teaches you that though? Like where would you learn that, or where are you supposed to know this? Like somebody has to teach this to you. Somebody has to inform the people of this. And I think like people like us, like people with a platform or people with a voice, should do more to stress that fact to people and make it like, you know what I mean?
Well, I put it out there too. On the Vlad Stocks page, I made a whole video and I said, before you start investing in stocks, you should first get health insurance and then you should pay off whatever credit card debt you got. Because if you think you're going to try to flip your money in stocks while you owe a bunch of money on credit cards, you're just hustling backwards.
I don't believe in credit.
Yeah. You had posted up was it Hush Puppy, the Nigerian scammer?
Oh yeah, you seen that?
I seen that. Wasn't he hanging out with Black China at one point?
I don't know. I never heard of him ever until I just seen that post. But that's the shit I be talking about. Like people just like, they do everything for the gram. Like everything is for the gram. Like it's like, bro, like if you know you doing illegal shit allegedly, if you know you allegedly, you know what I mean, not living right, why are you posting it all on it? It's like it's like the guy who shows guns on the internet to me and you out killing people. Like you show your gun in every video and you all on Instagram flashing your weapon. Yeah. And then you go out and shoot somebody with this weapon and kill somebody with this weapon. It's like the same thing. You out here scamming and doing this, but you making posts like, oh yeah, I'm out here on a private jet. I'm out here. It's like
helicopter. I'm gonna do this.
Shit just don't make sense.
Yeah, he's an idiot.
Clown shit.
I mean, he's just an idiot, honestly. And he's sitting in a jail cell right now, eating bologna sandwiches.
It's like me as a felon. I'm a felon on probation for my 4th gun case, but me sitting here and talk about how many guns I got. Yeah, I got guns. It's fucking idiotic shit, bro. I wouldn't do it.
Yeah, if you scammed, because I believe like he got like 200 million off like fake like PPP loans or some shit like.
That's some good bread though, but.
Yeah, but now it's all gone, right? He's not going to think he's going to have something waiting for him when he gets out.
I mean, hopefully you got something put up like somewhere else. Man. Like that. I wouldn't hope like you made 200 million in the street scamming and you had the whole 200 million just sitting in your bank account somewhere like that.
Well, it's not going to be in your bank account. Yeah, I mean,
that don't make no sense.
If you're a scammer,
and you was getting
people
money
shouldn't
like
even
that.
know who the fuck you are.
Exactly.
You shouldn't even be on a camera anywhere. There should not be any pictures of you. There should not be. You should not have an Instagram.
No.
You should be a shadow.
And you definitely should have some money put away somewhere else. Like, Like that's that all my eggs all in one basket shit. The whole dozen eggs was all in the basket. Now the basket dropped. It's like fucking idiotic.
Yeah, no, man, listen. I remember I talked to my jeweler, right? He told me something very interesting.
You actually have a jeweler? I've never seen you wear jewelry ever. I've never seen.
I got some jewelry.
You got some pieces?
I got some.
Where do you wear them to? You don't go nowhere. You hardly go out, and you never wear the.
I go out.
Yeah,
I got a nice watch collection.
Oh, man. I mean, I can see that. I see probably.
I'm just not wearing it now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because we're just doing an interview now off camera.
Yeah.
But if you watch some of my interviews, like on No Jumper, you'll see some pieces that.
Yeah. I gotta go back and check that out.
Yeah,
That's one thing I don't think I ever seen you with no jewelry.
Yeah, I got.
Because to me, it's like.
I got a Cuban link chain, not anything huge, but something nice,
Yeah.
but really my thing is watches.
Yeah.
Rolexes.
See, like you're
Audemars.
a completely legit dude. You have a legitimate business. You made some good money, but you never floss any of the you never.
You've never seen any of my cars.
Nothing like. Well, I've seen it because you know.
Yeah, because you see me pull up, right?
Yeah,
but you don't see me on Instagram. On my
yeah,
cars.
never. Like
you don't see any of my houses.
No,
I got multiple residences.
Mm.
And I'll tell you something. I've been thinking about this. One of the things that I've consistently noticed that people that I've ended up having problems with are people that have come to my house and seen how I live. And I think it sets up, I really feel like, now that I'm a little older and really have thought about it more, you should never invite anyone to your house unless they could afford something similar.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you bring someone to your home and that shit is way out of their comprehension, it's going to create a deep-seated hatred and jealousy. You know what I mean? And I've noticed that with people that I've dealt with and people I no longer deal with. And I feel like that was one of the mistakes that I made by inviting them over, thinking, oh, that's just my homie. But they're looking around and going like, man, fuck this motherfucker. Like, when I get the chance, I'm going to,
That's why I like the most valuable, I ain't gonna say the most valuable, but one of the most valuable things that I've learned over the years and in my life was live below my means.
Yeah.
And me, I live a real simple, humble life. Not that I'm rich or anything, but even if I was rich, I would still live below my means. And I'm not gonna go, I don't desire to go out and buy a big old mansion one day. I don't desire those things in my life.
I desire that, but
yeah, I mean, no, I'm saying for me, for you. But you desire it.
I need that, but
I think you should. I think you should be able to show that. I think you should be able to I've never seen Vlad on MTV Cribs or you know what I mean.
Nor will you.
Yeah.
Nor have you seen, like I said, nor do you see it on Instagram.
But kind of at the same time, what's the use of being king if nobody knows it?
Well, because you have to understand how money works, right? And money is not designed for you to buy trinkets with it.
Mm-hmm.
That's part of it. I mean, it's cool to have nice watches and have nice cars and have nice clothes. I mean, I wear designer clothes, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I like Burberry, I have a lot of Burberry shit. I have Gucci, I have Louis, I have whatever, Prada, whatever brands you see out there, I have. But the purpose of making money is for it to make more money.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? When you buy something significant, you should think about how much it's going to generate for you. Buying a car, you lose money. Buying custom jewelry, you lose money. Buying clothes, you lose money.
You lose money.
Buying designer, you buy. I mean, I get it. I get it. Trick Daddy in our interview said that if you look at your closet and your driveway, and there's more money there than in your bank account, then you're a damn fool.
Yeah.
Okay. And I can tell you that is not my case.
Mm.
Right. And although I have nice stuff in my closet and I have nice stuff in my driveway, but it's there to the money that what you're really trying to do is you're trying to make money in your main career and then take what you profit and put that into investments that continue to make more money forever. And once you start doing that, you start seeing why you actually make money. It's not to buy shit. I could buy a Rolls Royce Phantom right now, but I don't have, you know, the car I have is well below my means. Even though it's a nice car, it's well below my means. Because I don't need all that extra shit. But once you know how to invest money, and once you see how money makes more money, you start thinking, well, if I buy this, I'm not going to make nothing off of it. I'd rather not buy this and put it into here. And once you get to a certain financial level where you have money put aside, you then start making better decisions. You start making long-term decisions. When you see a lot of these guys that like something happens and they do something emotional and they make these fucking crazy ass videos and they're dissing this person and dissing that person and whatever else, most times they're broke. Most times, like rich, I remember talking to my man the other day. He said, I don't really see rich dudes get that angry, but broke dudes will get real fucking angry. And they'll throw it all away in that one moment where a dude that really has something will sit back and say, I don't have to make a decision right now. I could sit back because I am financially set up where I could, even if something goes down, if part of the business goes down, I could spend a year, 2 years, 3 years building it back up. And you know, like for me, I make decisions past my lifetime. Like what I feel I do with Vlad TV is historical. And I feel that after I'm gone, people will still be watching these videos. Like we just interviewed Shaka Khan, her only real biographical interview ever.
Serious?
Yeah. She has 10 Grammys. She sold 70 million fucking albums.
Wow.
She's never sat down and told her life story.
Yeah, I can't even remember.
Except for Vlad TV. It doesn't exist. I interviewed Rodney Jerkins recently. He sold like 1 billion albums. He's done hits. He did Michael Jackson's last album. He's never done an interview like this before. Like, you know, the Keefe D interview. Like, we solved Tupac's case. Like you know, Tupac.
No, Vlad, you done did some historical.
Yeah, like we've done historical shit. So as I'm doing shit, I don't worry about who's mad at me right now or who's talking shit or whatever the climate is. I got a bigger purpose in what I'm doing. And I built up the company and I have the means to achieve that purpose without having to worry about this man or this woman or this group or whatever else. Like we doing something bigger. And that's why I don't have a whole bunch of jewelry everywhere I go and I'm not, you know, draped in designer or whatever else. You know, it's not about that. It's not about that.
It's about security. Really.
At
the end of the day, it should be about security. Like that's how, like me, I'm more concerned about security and just being, I don't care about being over the top rich I just want to know that I'm not gonna ever be a bum in the street. Like, you know what I mean?
When you get to the point where like, you know, that you could stop working and you could maintain your lifestyle for the rest of your life, you will start looking at life very differently. You will start looking at situations very differently. You won't be quick to react. You won't, you know, you'll be, you know, you won't get as angry. You won't get as stressed out, you know?
And I think our culture, it lacks that, like it seriously lacks that. Like everybody just think like right now, this whole EDD craze that's going on, like I'm seeing a lot of money in the hood right now.
Well, I was, you know, you talked about, you know, I was telling about the jewelry thing. I got a little sidetracked with you, but what I was saying is I talked to my jeweler, people are now spending more money on jewelry than they ever have before. Dudes that would come in and spend $1,000 or $2,000, they're spending $15,000.
Because a lot of money floating around in the streets right now. Like I've never,
like the fake, you know, people getting these fake loans and everything else like that. And I was like, wow, that's so crazy. Like people are taking this money that's used to sort of create their stability and they're spending it on jewelry.
Because
they also don't have to pay rent right now. Think about it. There's no evictions until 2021.
Shit, I gotta pay rent.
No, you don't have to.
I mean, I don't want to.
Your credit will get wrecked in the process, but if you're not thinking long term, then you don't give a shit. Like fuck.
I'm thinking about the future. What about when this is up
Yeah.
And I owe all this money, like where I could have been paying rent.
You owe
I was
money,
able to
and
pay the
then no
rent.
one else is going to want to rent to you because now that goes on your permanent record
And
and
now where
shit
we
like
gonna live?
that.
It's just,
Like
that's what I'm
people are, and let me tell you, bro, all these scams that people are doing with the government right now, the government gonna catch all that shit.
Alleged scams. I don't know about nobody doing those. I just know it's a lot of money.
There's a lot of people
It's a lot
that
of
got these loans that don't really have companies.
Yeah.
Via TV did not take a penny from the government.
I really got a company, LLC, and I ain't got $1 from it.
Yeah.
I ain't got nothing.
I'd interviewed Akon, and me and him got into the argument about the Tekashi.
That was a clown ass, and I swear to God, I watched it. It was just, he found every opportunity. He tried to defend him in every way, and it was just sick.
And I didn't agree with it. You saw that.
Sickening.
And me and Akon have been cool forever. But I was like, yo, I'm not feeling it.
Sound like a clown, bro. I lost so much respect for Akon from that interview. Like, it was like, bro, like, and I met Akon before. Like, I met him before, but like, bro, you sounded like a complete clown. Like, it just didn't make no sense at all. Like, no matter which way you he always tried to find, like, you took every which way to defend with it. There's no defense, bro. He was a clown, period.
Yeah, I thought there was absolutely no reason for him to do Locked Up 2 with Tekashi.
I mean, it's trash.
Yeah, because let me tell you something. Akon is wealthy. He's beyond rich right now.
He's not
Akon
rich,
is
he's
wealthy. Is wealthy. He's and Akon, I believe, is the most historically important person that I've interviewed.
As far as his contributions to Africa, what he doing right now?
Contributions to the world.
What was his other contribution to the world?
He put electricity in 350 million African homes.
Okay.
What? That's just okay? That's just no big deal?
I mean, that's cool, but like, I'm just saying, you said the most in the, like, out of everyone, like, what is he, like?
350 million African families have electricity in their home because of what Akon did. 350 million.
That's commendable. That's commendable.
That is beyond commendable.
But I'm saying, like,
what would you do in your life if you were born in a home with no electricity? You would be a farmer, Boskoe. That's what you would be doing. Okay? Your personality would not shine through to the masses because you would not have electricity. You would not have a phone. You would have no internet. You'd be a fucking farmer and you'd be figuring out whether you want to do yams or potatoes this year. Okay? And that would be the end of that. And everyone in your town would be like, oh, he's so personable. He has such a cool personality. And that'd be the end of your popularity. You would not be able to support yourself.
What else did he do though?
What do you mean, what else did you do?
You said his contributions, like
350 million electricity.
Okay, that's
fucking electricity, people's homes is not enough.
All right, that's one contribution.
That's one contribution?
You said plural with that. You said his contributions is like, so what?
He's building his own city in Senegal. His own city with its own police department, its own hospitals, and its own schools. Name me another human being you know that has done that. Your own city, not, yes, Kanye bought a bunch of land in Wyoming, but he doesn't have his own police force.
Yeah.
Wyoming PD could roll up in there and do whatever the fuck they want.
I'm not taking away from him. I just wanted to hear what these things were because I didn't really like.
He also, he also started a label in Africa and a lot of the big artists are signing his label out there,
That's not to the world though. You said his contributions to the world. That's his contributions to Africa.
Africa's a continent. Africa's an important part of the world.
Okay. Yeah.
Is it not?
I mean, yeah, no, true. But I'm saying, you said his contributions to the world. That's his contributions to his country. That's not to the world.
Well, his country's also America. He grew up in America. He was born in Senegal, but he came to America when he was 7, 8 years old. Mm-hmm. I'm just saying, I don't know anyone that's done that.
Yeah, that's big. No, I'm not taking it away from
And I have interviewed some wealth. Listen, I've interviewed Grant Cardone, who you mentioned. Grant Cardone's worth about $1 billion, and he owns a bunch of apartments, and that's dope. But he didn't transform people's lives. He just gave them a place to live that they pay for. You know what I mean? He doesn't even do Section 8. What he does is dope, but I don't think it's on the level of an Akon. I haven't done anything on the level of an Akon. I haven't transformed people's lives to that regard. And, he's the guy that actually meets and he meets directly with the presidents of these various countries. Like, these are the types of conversations that he would have. And I just don't know anyone that does things on that caliber, on that level, that I've actually sat down and spoken to multiple times. And I actually know him, and we run into each other, and we'll go off to the side and talk for a half hour.
God bless him and his contributions. But he's still a clown for that shit.
For the Tekashi shit?
Clown.
Well, I don't agree with, listen, I'm not defending him, right? Because you saw that interview.
That's all.
I'm arguing with him. I'm saying it's a disappointment.
Yes.
And he feels that it's not. And I'm giving him all the reasons, and he's kind of defending his reasons. And that's his, listen, the song is done. He can't take it back. And I got to say, since me and you go back, I could keep it 100 with you.
Right.
I was actually kind of disappointed over the Tekashi remake of Locked Up.
You know what? It's funny you say that, Black, because a lot of people called me like they was upset, but I'm like, why? I would like to know why you were upset though.
Well, here's the thing.
Right.
You've always been a guy that, even to this day, has been connected to the streets.
Right.
You're not just a suburban guy who has no idea about what's going on. 100%. You've always had street guys around you.
Right.
You've been in that life. You've had people snitch on you.
Right.
And so forth. And with the Tekashi situation, this is someone who claims that he's a victim in this whole thing. Mm-hmm. But the reality of it, we followed the story very closely, and I've interviewed people around him. He was essentially the ringleader of all this shit that was happening. And so he has to defend. What is he going to say? I regret doing that song. I wish I never did it.
No, he just has to live as that clown that in Boskoe100. It's like, I'm not saying that underwear, but
I'm sure he's crying at night because Boskoe doesn't like him.
I'm sure he is. Like, I wouldn't
R. Kelly's still in jail.
Yeah.
He got stabbed recently.
Yeah, I heard they kicked his ass.
Yeah, they whipped him up.
Yeah. He had that coming though. That was coming. That was inevitable. He should have expected that.
Isn't it crazy how you just...
I've directly been involved in kicking a few pedophiles' ass in jail.
Oh, really?
In jail? Hell yeah.
Okay, so...
We don't play that. Like, you come in with them kind of charges, rape charges, pedophile charges, shit like that, you getting fucked up in jail. Yeah.
They don't put these people in a separate section?
Usually they do, but like sometimes like not right off the bat. Sometimes you got to go through the process first and then get put, like some people get... You know what I mean? Some people just come right in and request protective custody and I can't go in there. But you got some people that try to like tiptoe through and try to like see if they can make it.
Okay,
and,
so
you know
here you are. You're in what, county jail or
county jail?
Okay, so you're in county jail. You got a bunch of, you're a blood. So I guess you got, you're clicked up with a bunch of other bloods,
yeah,
right?
So we come walking in.
So then this guy comes walking in and y'all like, oh, okay, that's a pedophile right there?
No, you don't. Like, we know we own people. What you down for? It's like, it's got like we grip.
Well, why would a person tell you what they're in for?
Because you don't want to get your ass kicked.
Well, can't you just lie? No one has paperwork.
I mean, you could lie, but we could find out. There's ways of finding out.
How do you find out that a person has pedophile paperwork?
Your wristband. Like I could look up your booking number. I would say, what's your booking number? And I look your book. I have my girl. I could say, let me see, what's your name? What's your booking number? Uh-huh. If I think it's something suspicious about you, I could jump on the phone and tell my girl, look up this dude's name and booking number. And
that's how it works.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's different ways. It's a lot of different ways. Like,
so basically, someone goes, looks up his booking number, and then you find out that it's a pedophile. So then you go and tell everyone else.
And we smash him. You
just go and next time you see him, you just fuck him up.
Mm-hmm.
So you're willing to risk further incarceration in order to beat this dude up.
Mm-hmm.
Did you get further incarceration because of that?
Mm-mm. You gotta get caught first.
So no one got it.
It's never a crime until you get caught.
So you went and beat up a pedophile.
You said I wouldn't?
No. So you go and beat up pedophiles.
Yeah.
Multiple times?
Yeah, more than once.
2-3 times?
I mean,
bunch of times.
Whatever. It's happened. Like,
okay, how bad did you fuck him up?
I mean,
put him in the hospital?
I don't know what happened. Like, you know what I mean? They didn't come around and they didn't come through unscathed. Like, they came through and they got dealt with. Like, it's a normal thing. Like, and not saying that it was just my job as the pedophile enforcer, but I'm just saying, like, in jail.
Boskoe, the pedophile enforcer.
But, like, you know what I mean? But when you were in that setting and you wanted to stand up individuals and you with the betterment of the program, like, you know what I mean? Like, certain things need to get dealt with, certain issues need to get dealt with. And, you know what I mean? I never had a problem taking my part in dealing with those issues. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man. I got no sympathy for a pedophile.
You feel me?
I feel that if you take advantage of children,
you should get smashed.
You should get whatever comes your way, because you're talking about a child at the end of the day. You're not talking about an adult.
Not that I want to promote violence or promote
violence against pedophiles. I got no problems with.
Yeah, like, you know what I mean? But
you're not gonna hear me arguing on their behalf.
You know what I mean?
Fuck them up. Go for it.
Right.
You know, you want to go down that road?
Deal with
let the word, everyone who's watching right now that's trying to decide if they're going to be a pedophile or not, you could hear these jail stories.
Just know.
And say, when you get locked up, that's not the worst that's going to happen.
Yeah.
It gets worse after you get locked up.
Worse.
So hopefully this is a deterrent to go find you someone who is of legal age.
Hopefully this Boskoe letting the world know that I've been a pedophile vigilance. Like, you know what I mean? I've partaken in some vigilance, and, like, you know what I mean? You know, like,
I'm not mad at you. I mean, shit. Look what happened to Jeffrey Dahmer the first day he got put in general population.
See what I'm saying? Like,
but they found him with, like, what? His head in a toilet and a broomstick,
like
shoved up his
some
ass,
crazy shit,
like some real, like.
But it was a fitting punishment, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, wasn't he like eating little kids and stuff like that?
Jeffrey Dahmer was like, the thing I watched it. Jeffrey Dahmer was gay, and most of the dudes he was killing was dudes he was fucking. Like, he'll meet dudes at the gay bar, then take them home, fuck, drug them, then kill them and eat them. Like, it was a whole. So a lot of his victims were dudes that was trying to get some penis, basically. Like, you know what I mean?
This is why I feel like.
Pause.
This is why I feel I don't really have a huge problem with, like, gay imagery and stuff like that, because I think that the bigger problems start when someone is gay but is conflicted with it and is trying to somehow subdue that. You know, just like, I don't think it's a coincidence that, you know, Catholic priests, you know, rape little boys because you're not allowed to be married or have sex when you're a Catholic priest. Exactly. So you're taking a person's natural desire and you're trying to pretend that it shouldn't be there, and it's gonna come out in other ways. We're all men. We all get horny. We all want to bust a nut.
Desires.
We all want to do whatever we all love women, or maybe it's men or whatever the fuck else.
Somebody gonna give up some booty.
Somebody gonna give up the booty. Yeah. Like, what was it? That one dude. I like booty.
Oh, shit.
He said booty is more fun than water.
But seriously, it's like the same. It's like
right.
that.
So what I'm saying is,
the Catholic situation, that it's a lot like prison.
Right.
Like,
so you got someone like a Jeffrey Dahmer who is gay, but maybe hates himself for being gay. So he thinks that he's going to get over that by killing dudes who are also gay and eating them or something. And something in his mind is there's some sort of weird justification in this weird ass shit, when, you know, chances are, if he was just saying, fuck it, I'm gay and I'm just out and everyone should know it. And, you know, I mean, look, Lil Nas X came out as gay and no one cared. Like, Bruce Jenner is a fucking woman now. And
nobody cares. It's like,
nobody cares. Be
gay.
Like,
bro,
do the gay thing. Like,
see, but the thing is, Young Buck, of a character like Young Buck, who you revered as, that's see what I'm saying? Well, a character like a Young Buck situation, a character like him, who came out as this tough street dude, G-Unit, Cashville, Tennessee, for someone like him to be caught up in a situation like that, that's another thing. It's a whole nother, it's like, wait, hold up,
and you know, if all that shit is true, Young Buck should have been like, yeah, I'm bisexual or I'm gay.
You just feel deceived as the fans, and you feel deceived.
I mean, how many musical fans does Young Buck still have? I mean, if you really think about it, let's just keep it.
I mean,
100.
you got. I'm still a young Buck fan.
Really?
Not that, but
when was the last Young Buck album that you bumped? And don't say a G Unit album.
I'm still listening to the first album.
Well, that's what I'm saying. You're still a fan from way back when. Yeah. You're not a real fan, because if you were a real fan, you'd keep bumping all his new. He's dropped a lot of shit.
Yeah, because
since then.
It's not hot. No, it's not.
Well, that's what I'm saying. You're just a fan of his old stuff.
Yeah,
you're not really a fan. Like his old stuff ain't gonna change. Like, it's
that's
still
what I'm
there.
saying. I'm a fan of that. Like,
if Young Buck really was into transgenders, he should have just been like, yeah, he should have done a Mr. C.
That's my
like,
whole
fuck
thing.
it.
Like, and then we would have been like, fuck
all right,
it.
cool, fuck
but
it.
But you sitting there, oh no, and then the phone call comes out and you pleading and that's like that's my whole thing. It's like, bro, if you're gonna be gay, be gay. Like, nobody really cares, but it's you dudes that try to put on this facade. But like Trippie Redd, you claim to be this blood. Oh yeah, this blood, and I'm a gangster. But look at these zesty ass photos that you take. It's fucking weird to me. It's like, bro, if you was gay and openly gay, and that was your lifestyle, we wouldn't give a fuck. But you try to play this gangster one day, and then that's like me. If I was just Boskoe100, I've been Boskoe100 all this time. Then all of a sudden, next week you just see me with my nails painted and posting all these zesty ass pics with blouses on and shit. You would feel some type of way as my fans. I would expect my fans to feel some type of way. Like, what the fuck?
There's real relationships out there, and then there's, social media relationships, social media appearance. And real relationships and your true self has to take priority, and all that other shit needs to really be background. You know what I'm saying? The fact that your Instagram followers don't like what you're doing should not base your decisions. No. Because you have to still live in the real world. And like just recently, I just said, I literally just deleted all the social media off my phone and got rid of the bookmarks on my computer and stuff like that. And I used to literally, I've been checking social media daily since MySpace times. Mm-hmm. I mean, I was DJ Vlad back then. Mm-hmm. I didn't have Vlad TV, but I was DJ Vlad, the mixtape DJ, and I had my fans and my, whatever, I had 50,000 MySpace friends or whatever the fuck else. And I've been on it every day. And just recently, I just realized, so much time gets wasted reading people's comments, reading people's DMs, seeing what the fuck people say, saying this, people sending you fucking death threats and no matter what you do, someone saying they're gonna kill you next time you come somewhere, it affects you as a man and you get a little angry, and it makes you want to do something. Mm-hmm. And it kind of fucks up your day, and you might yell at your girl, because some bozo that you're never going to meet in life is saying some shit, and it affects your decisions and everything. So I'm like, I'm just off social media completely. And now my staff checks my DMs, my staff posts articles. I don't give a fuck about all that. You prioritize actual real relationships. And
honestly, not to cut you off.
No, go ahead.
Honestly, it keep me connected with the people, I think, and it keep me with my edge. Like, I like opening my DMs. I like to hear the bullshit that people gotta say. Yeah. I'm gonna block you, but I like to hear that shit. Like, I was like, yeah, like, oh yeah. Like, I feel like it keep me on point, and it keep me in my dangerous space. Like, it keep me dangerous. Yeah. Like, you know what I mean?
But I think you and I have a slightly different business, mm-hmm. because your business is more based on social media. Mm-hmm. For me, social media is just a tool for people to just watch my videos. Mm-hmm. It's just there to lead people back to something else. Mm-hmm. And, in 2020, social media has definitely gotten a lot uglier, a lot uglier than it used to be. People are a lot more stressed out. People are a lot more triggered. And for me, I just felt like I'm done. I'm cool. I've had a good run with it. Yeah. And it's still there. Vlad TV is still a verified page with like over 500,000 followers. And I got about 1 million followers on Facebook. Mm-hmm. And I got 4.3 million, subscribers on YouTube. And my Twitter has whatever, 150,000. So I haven't checked in a while, but so it's all there. As I'm not taking nothing down, but for me,
you don't want to pay attention.
I'm cool. Right. I'm cool because it throws me off. It fucks up my focus. And like I said, I have a mission beyond today or next year or 5 years from now. So I just realized nothing good was coming out of it. And yeah, I do like arguing with people. I do like to, block. I blocked you, haha. I got, I mean, if there's a certain level of,
it's fun,
to block somebody and then them coming back as I can't believe, them DMing you from another account, mad about why you blocked them.
Blocked again.
Gives you a certain level of satisfaction. But I feel like the pluses and the minuses,
they didn't add up.
Don't add up, man. Yeah. Well, Boskoe, man, I appreciate you coming in.
Always a pleasure.
You know what I mean? We're in a crazy time right now, but we all getting through it step by step. And as bad as COVID-19 is, I think that it's also exposing a lot of things. It's almost like you don't know who's wearing their swimsuit until the tide goes out. You know what I mean? Everyone looks like they're doing well when the water's high and things are going good. And when the tide comes out, it exposes a lot. And, all the truly successful people will use the bad times to benefit and to change and to shift. It seems like you're still doing good. I see you traveling all around, which is a sign to me that you're doing well, because broke motherfuckers don't travel. It costs money to travel and stay in hotel rooms and eat out all the time and everything. So whatever it is that you're doing, man, it seems like you're doing well. It's always a pleasure when you come in.
I'm broke, baby. I ain't got no money, man.
You ain't got nothing. Until next time.
Later, bro.
Peace.